The heavy cedar doors of the villa click shut, and suddenly, the frantic pulse of the caliphate's capital, the clatter of horse hooves on cobblestones, the distant call to prayer, the marketplace's vibrant roar, all vanish. Go out here behind the thick stone walls in the year 970. The air is cooler, draped in the heavy, comforting scent of aging vellum, cedar wood, and tanned leather. You have stepped out of time and into a sanctuary of absolute, profound silence. Welcome to the Scholar's Library. As your eyes adjust to the dim amber glow emanating from an intricately pierced brass lantern, you realize you are not alone. In the center of the room, seated at a heavy oak workbench, a master bookbinder is at work. There is no urgency here. There is no tomorrow, and there is no yesterday. There is only the precise rhythmic dance of light and shadow, and a singular meditative task at hand. The room is lined from floor to ceiling with codices, centuries of human thought gathered in one place. But you are here for the present moment. You are here to witness the slow, deliberate creation of beauty. Listen. The primary sound of this sanctuary is the incredibly soft, rhythmic tapping of a small brass hammer against a metal punch. It is a heartbeat, a steady, hypnotic cadence that anchors you to the chair. Every strike is calculated, deliberate, a testament to a world that moved at the speed of human hands. Watch as the binder leans forward, breath held, to press a sliver of gold leaf onto the dampened dark calfskin of the cover. It is a delicate operation. One wrong move, one tremor of the hand, and the gold shatters. But there is no tremor here. There is only the soft sigh of leather against wood, the crisp whisper thin rustle of parchment as the page is turned, and that constant comforting sound of the hammer meeting the tool. In this haven of knowledge, the outside world ceases to exist. There is no expectation, no demand, and no noise. There is only the architecture of the room, the scent of history, and the gentle, repetitive labor of a craftsman who knows that some things are worth taking forever to finish. As you settle into this stillness, let your breathing align with the rhythm of the hammer. Let the geometric shadows cast by the brass lantern dance across the spines of the books, drawing you deeper into the quiet. You are safe here, you are anchored. The city of Cordoba is vast, but this room is infinite. Close your eyes, let the dust mold swirl in the amber light. Let the smell of old paper fill your senses. You are about to enter a state of deep restorative peace, guided by the heartbeat of history. The walls of this library act as a veil, separating you from the complexity of the modern world, inviting you to inhabit a space where patience is the primary virtue. The wood beneath your fingertips is cool, polished by generations of scholars who have sought refuge in these exact texts. The air is still, save for the movement of the binder's hands, which trace patterns of gold that will outlast the centuries. Each motion is a prayer of preservation, a silent vow to protect the wisdom inscribed within these pages. As you observe, the tension in your shoulders begins to dissipate, replaced by a heavy blanket-like comfort that mirrors the thickness of the leather bindings surrounding you. You are part of the story now, a silent witness to a craft that bridges the gap between the terrestrial and the sublime. The weight of the world, which felt so heavy only moments ago, now feels distant and inconsequential compared to the importance of this singular golden line being pressed into the leather. Breathe in the scent of antiquity, the musk of dry parchment, the earthy undertones of cured hide, and the sharp, clean metallic edge of the gold leaf. There is a profound holiness in this room, not just in the religious texts that fill the shelves, but in the dedication to the pursuit of knowledge itself. The darkness beyond the reach of the lantern is not empty. It is filled with potential, with the echoes of poets and mathematicians, astronomers and philosophers. You are in the heart of the intellectual capital of the world, yet you have found the quietest corner of all. The rhythm of the hammer continues, a steady, pulsing cadence that seems to synchronize with the very rotation of the earth outside these thick walls. Every time the brass hits the metal, a faint vibration travels through the heavy oak table, up through the floorboards and into the soles of your feet. It is a grounding sensation, one that reminds you that you are firmly rooted in this moment, in this sanctuary of stone and wisdom. The binder is entirely absorbed in the work, a portrait of focus that serves as a mirror for your own mind. As you watch the world outside the window, the bustling markets of 970 Cordoba, the shouting of merchants, the braying of donkeys, the endless flow of people seeking fortune and power, fades into an abstract hum, a distant memory that has no place in this hallowed space. Inside the library, the light behaves differently. It does not glare. It filters through the intricate geometric lattice of the brass lantern, casting a tapestry of starlight and vine patterns across the spines of the leather books. These books are not merely objects, they are vessels. Some are bound in the deep rich crimson of Morocco leather. Others are swaddled in dark, cool forest green, their surfaces marked with the faint natural striations of time. They smell of history, of the patience required to prepare vellum, of the slow drying of natural inks, of the years spent in the dark, gathering wisdom. You imagine the hands that held these books before you, a mathematician from Baghdad, a poet from Damascus, a physician from the local university. They too felt this same peace. They too allowed their minds to slow down and align with the pace of the bookbinder. The binder, a man whose face remains obscured by the soft shadows, moves with an economy of motion that is mesmerizing to witness. There is no wasted energy. When he reaches for a new sheet of gold leaf, he uses a specialized set of tweezers, his fingers moving with the delicate grace of a surgeon. The gold, thinner than a breath of wind, clings to the air for a fraction of a second before settling perfectly onto the adhesive sizing. He waits. He allows the moment to stretch, letting the gold settle and bond. It is a lesson in patience that you find yourself learning by osmosis. Your own restlessness, the urge to look at your phone, to check the time, to move to the next thing. It all evaporates here. There is only the gold, the leather, and the hammer. As the binder proceeds to outline the spine of the manuscript, he uses the metal punch to leave a faint indented trail of stars and floral motifs. Each mark is a deliberate act of creation. The gold, once pressed, catches the lantern light and holds it, glowing with a soft inner radiance that makes the book look like it was kissed by the sun itself. It is a slow, methodical process, one that defies the frantic pace of modern life. In the year 970, the world is vast and dangerous, full of political shifts and intellectual discovery. But in this room, it is simply a place to breathe. You feel the weight of your eyelids becoming heavier, a luxurious velvet sensation of fatigue that invites you to drift deeper into the silence. The room is temperature controlled by the very thickness of the walls, remaining cool even in the heat of a Spanish summer. This climate preserves the fragile materials, but it also preserves the spirit of the inhabitant. You find your breathing becoming deeper, slower. You inhale the cool, dry air, and you exhale the tension that has been clinging to your muscles since you first entered this space. It is as if the room itself is exhaling with you. The rustle of paper as the binder rearranges his tools sounds like a gentle breeze moving through dry leaves in an autumn orchard. It is a soft, comforting sound, the sound of knowledge being handled with reverence. You are not just observing, you are participating in a tradition of quiet contemplation that has kept the world sane for centuries. Consider the gold leaf itself. It is the result of immense pressure, beaten down until it is almost transparent, yet it remains resilient and brilliant. It is a metaphor for the human mind when it is given the space to exist without distraction. You are being beaten down, not into submission, but into clarity. You are being flattened by the weight of this silence until all the unnecessary clutter of your thoughts is pressed out, leaving only the essential shining core of who you are. This is the luxury of the scholar's life, the ability to sit in a room surrounded by the greatest minds of the age and simply be. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to achieve anything. You just need to exist in this, the most beautiful and quietest room in Cordoba. The shadows on the wall move almost imperceptibly as the night outside advances, but the lantern keeps its steady vigil. The geometric patterns seem to breathe, expanding and contracting with the rhythm of your heartbeat. You wonder how many thousands of pages have been turned here, how many debates have been held, how many secrets have been whispered into the dark leather-bound corners of this room. The library is a living entity, a gargantuan creature made of parchment and ink that feeds on silence. And you are safe inside its belly, warm and undisturbed. The tapping continues, a rhythmic lullaby-like sound that promises that all is well, all is quiet, all is perfectly, beautifully still. You drift, floating on a sea of old books and soft metallic echoes, carried away by the sheer peace of the artisan at work. The world outside will be there when you return, but for now, the world is this room, and this room is enough. It is more than enough. It is a sanctuary that belongs only to you, a hidden pocket of reality where time has forgotten to tick forward and only the goal remains. The golden glow from the lantern deepens as the evening progresses, casting long, elegant shadows that stretch like fingers across the heavy stone floor. The bookbinder has moved on to the front cover of the manuscript, a piece of deep midnight blue calfskin that looks as dark and vast as the desert sky. He works with a steady, practiced hand, his movements fluid and unhurried. You watch as he applies the size, the thin, clear adhesive that will hold the gold in place, his concentration absolute. There is a deep comfort in watching someone who has mastered their craft, someone who understands that true quality cannot be rushed. It reminds you that in your own life you are allowed to slow down, to refine your own internal landscape with the same care and intention that he pours into these leather covers. As you observe this, consider for a moment the journey you are on, a journey toward peace and rest, and think about how this sanctuary is crafted specifically for you. If you find this journey into the stillness of history brings you the comfort you seek, remember to subscribe to our channel and join our community of listeners who find solace in the past. Your presence here truly supports us in creating more of these quiet, immersive sanctuaries. The silence in the room is not empty. It is thick with the presence of thousands of voices captured in ink. You can almost feel them, the scholars of old, their thoughts radiating from the shelves like a gentle warming hearth. The binder shifts his weight, the leather of his apron creaking softly, a sound so human and intimate it anchors you further into the present. He turns a page of the manuscript he is working on, the parchment soft and supple, a sound like a whisper between old friends. The air smells of beeswax and aged paper, a scent that is both clean and complex, a perfume of intellectual endeavor. You find yourself taking deep, cleansing breaths, letting the cool air fill your lungs and clear away the remnants of the day's anxieties. The rhythm of his hammer against the punch becomes a part of your own pulse, a steady, rhythmic thrumming that creates a safe enclosure around your spirit. In this moment, the concept of a deadline or an agenda feels entirely alien. Outside, the city of Cordoba might be bustling with trade and politics, but here the only thing that matters is the exact placement of a leaf of gold. This is the ultimate freedom, the freedom to be fully immersed in the present task. You notice the way the light catches the dust motes dancing in the air, each one a tiny floating constellation in the amber light. It is beautiful, this stillness. It is profound, this dedication to beauty. You feel a wave of deep physical relaxation wash over you, starting at the crown of your head and flowing down to your toes, loosening every knot of tension in your shoulders, your back, your legs. You are being held by this library, cradled by the history that lines its walls, and you are entirely safe. The binder stops for a moment to trim a frayed edge of the gold leaf. He works with a small sharp blade, the sound barely audible, a delicate surgical slice. His breathing is steady, a rhythmic rise and fall that matches your own. You realize that you are sinking, not just with the room, but with the person within it, sharing a quiet, unspoken understanding that what is being done here is important, necessary, and deeply calm. There is a profound sense of purpose in his work, even though it is just a book, just a binding. It is the act of creation itself, the act of taking something raw and unformed and elevating it to a thing of grace. That is what you are doing for your own mind tonight, taking the raw, scattered thoughts of your day and refining them into a state of quiet, golden peace. As the lamp flame flickers slightly, the shadows on the wall shift and dance, creating a hypnotic pattern that seems to pulse along with the quiet, persistent thump of the bookbinder's work. You feel your eyelids fluttering, the heavy sweet weight of oncoming sleep pressing down on you. It is a welcome feeling, a surrender to the natural pace of the evening. You let go of the last few remnants of your day, the lingering questions, the unresolved tasks, the mental lists. They don't matter here. In the library of the year 970, there is only the gold, the leather, the steady hands, and the vast, beautiful, and eternal silence. You are drifting now, carried on a gentle tide of quiet, deeper into the heart of this sanctuary, ready to find the rest that you so richly deserve. The atmosphere inside the library has grown even more profound. A thick velvet shroud of stillness that wraps around your senses like a warm cloak. You are no longer merely sitting in a room. You are suspended in a pocket of time where the primary language is silence and the secondary language is the soft, rhythmic language of craftsmanship. The bookbinder continues his labor, his movements now so familiar that you can predict them before they happen. He reaches, he pauses, he taps. A perfect, predictable sequence that allows your mind to let go of its need to be alert. Because you know exactly what is coming next, there is no need for your brain to scan the environment for threats or surprises. This predictability is the greatest gift of all. It is a sedative for the anxious mind, a soft cushion for the weary spirit. Look closer at the workbench. The wood itself is scarred and polished, a map of decades of labor. You can see the indentations where tools have rested, the darkened stains of oils and inks that have seeped into the grain. It is a surface that has witnessed the birth of thousands of ideas, and now it witnesses your rest. The binder's hands are steady, marked by small calluses and the faint, persistent dusting of gold particles that catch the light whenever he moves. He is not just walking, he is in a flow state, an immersive meditation that you are invited to share. His focus is a magnet, drawing your own attention away from the chaos of the world and centering it on the minute details of his craft. The way he presses the tool against the leather, a firm controlled pressure, sends a subtle vibration into the room, a tactile reassurance that you are grounded and secure. The smell in the library has shifted slightly, becoming more centered on the rich, intoxicating scent of the leather itself. It is a deep, organic aroma, a mixture of earth, salt, and thyme. This scent acts as a trigger for your subconscious, signaling that it is time to retreat, to curl inward, and to seek the warmth of your own internal landscape. You feel the chair supporting you, the floor holding you, the walls shielding you. The world of 970 is entirely contained within this room, and everything outside it is simply irrelevant. You could stay here forever, watching the gold leaf being laid, listening to the soft sigh of the paper, feeling the temperature of the room stay perfectly balanced against the encroaching night. There is no urgency to leave, no reason to wake, no need to be anything other than a silent observer in this sanctuary of wisdom. Listen to the sound of the leather being pressed again. It is a sound of luxury, of quality, of things that are built to last. It is the opposite of the disposable, ephemeral nature of the modern digital world. Here, everything is permanent. The ink on the page is meant to be read for 1,000 years. The gold on the cover is meant to shine for a millennium. You are surrounded by things that have achieved a state of immortality, and by being here, you are allowed to borrow a little of their stability. Your racing thoughts are being smoothed out like the gold leaf on the calfskin. Any jagged edges of your personality, any sharp anxieties or biting worries are being gently pressed into a state of grace. You are becoming a vessel of peace, as durable and beautiful as the manuscripts on the shelves. The lantern casts a shadow that is now stretching all the way across the ceiling, a vast dark geometry that mirrors the complex quiet order of the library itself. You find yourself tracing the patterns with your eyes, not with effort, but with a languid drifting gaze. The lines of the patterns intersect and diverge, a visual representation of how your own mind is beginning to quiet down. Every intersection is a point of rest. Every angle is a place to linger. You are moving deeper into the twilight of your own consciousness, that wonderful hazy borderland between waking and sleeping. The binder is still working, but his movements seem to be slowing, matching your own deepening level of relaxation. He too is perhaps reaching the end of his session, the manuscript finally complete, the gold perfectly aligned, the work finally ready to be placed on the shelf. It is a beautiful thought, the completion of a task. It implies that everything that needed to be done has been done, and that the only thing remaining is to rest. You feel this sense of completion in your own body. The work of your day, the effort of your week, the mental labor of your life, it is all being put aside, placed carefully onto the shelves of your memory, locked away in the sanctuary of this library. You are done. You have fulfilled your requirements for the day. You are ready to let the rhythm of the room take you the rest of the way into the deep, dark comfort of sleep. The tapping has almost stopped, or perhaps it has simply become so quiet that it is now a part of your own heartbeat, an internal rhythm that will carry you through the night. The peace is total. The room is silent. You are exactly where you are meant to be. The stillness of the library has deepened into something almost sacred, a silence so profound that it seems to possess a weight and texture of its own. The amber light from the pierced brass lantern has grown softer, the edges of the shadows blurring into the dark corners of the room where the shelves disappear into the gloom. You find that you are no longer watching the binder as much as you are simply feeling his presence, a steady, rhythmic companion in the dark. The work is nearly finished. The last few strokes of the tool have been applied, and you can sense the satisfaction of the artisan, a quiet internal exhale that mirrors your own state of being. You feel the physical reality of the room, the solid, unmoving stone walls, the cool, smooth wood of the workbench, the heavy scent of old parchment, pressing against your awareness, grounding you in a way that feels incredibly safe and incredibly permanent. There is a singular, hypnotic quality to the way the remaining gold leaf catches the light. It glimmers, a faint metallic whisper in the dimness, signaling the completion of the project. This is the moment where effort meets stillness. Throughout your journey here, you have watched as raw materials were transformed into something of beauty, and now as the final piece of gold is settled into the intricate pattern, you feel that same transformation happening within yourself. The chaos of your thoughts has been smoothed away. The sharp edges of your stress have been rounded off, and you have been gilded with a layer of calm that protects you from the noise of the outside world. This is the sanctuary you came here to find, and it has welcomed you completely. You realize that the library does not just store the wisdom of the past, it stores the possibility of silence, and that silence is now yours to inhabit. The binder sets his tools down one by one. The clink of the brass hammer against the wooden surface is soft, almost affectionate. He is putting things away, preparing the space for the long, quiet night ahead. There is a profound elegance in this act of closing down. He wipes the table with a soft, clean cloth. The sound of the friction, a gentle shush that seems to encourage you to let go even further. He brushes away the microscopic flecks of gold, the dust of his labor, leaving the surface clear and ready for the next day's work. You watch his hands, once so busy and precise, now moving with a slow, deliberate cadence as he folds the leather apron and places it on the hook. Every movement is intentional, every action a final goodbye to the hours of focus that have passed. You are witnessing the end of a cycle, and as he concludes, you find your own cycle for the day coming to its natural, peaceful end. He stands up, his movements stiff from the hours of leaning over the desk, but there is a profound sense of serenity in his posture. He walks toward the window, looking out into the silent, star-filled night of Cordoba. And for a moment you see his silhouette against the pale, cool moonlight that bleeds through the edges of the heavy wooden shutters. He does not turn back to you. There is no need for recognition. You are both just inhabitants of this moment, two souls occupying the same quiet space, connected by the work that has been done and the peace that has been shared. He reaches for the lantern, his hand hovering over the lever that controls the light. You know what comes next, and far from being afraid, you welcome the transition. The light is the last tether to the waking world, and as it begins to dim, you feel yourself drifting, loosening your grip on the conscious world, allowing the darkness to wrap around you like a heavy velvet blanket. The room grows darker, the geometry of the shadows dissolving as the lantern flame flickers and finally settles into a tiny dying ember. The scent of the oil, once sharp, is now fading into the background, leaving only the smell of the old, leathery, parchment-filled air. You are sinking deeper into the soft, supportive chair, your body feeling heavy, pleasantly weighted, as if it were sinking into the very foundations of the library. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, and shallow, a gentle tidal movement that pulls you further away from the shore of wakefulness and out into the vast dark ocean of rest. There is no more sound of tapping, no more rustle of paper, no more movement of tools. There is only the vast, enveloping silence of 1,000 books, each one a testament to the fact that you are safe, you are held, and you are ready to let go. The history of this library is long, spanning eras and empires, but in this moment it exists only for you. The wisdom on the shelves remains silent and watchful, a legacy of human thoughts that you are now a part of. You have become a keeper of this peace, a silent reader in the greatest library of your own mind. The darkness is not empty. It is full of the soft, comforting presence of the books, the weight of the stone, the memory of the light. You feel the boundaries of your own body softening, merging with the stillness of the room until you are not sure where you end. And the library begins. Everything is one. Everything is quiet. Everything is at rest. Sleepy History with Arthur is a sleep history storytelling platform created for entertainment, inspiration, education, and the promotion of positive emotional values. The darkness in the library is absolute, yet it is a warm, velvety darkness, a cocoon that cradles you in its vast and silent embrace, because the lantern has been extinguished. Your eyes no longer search for the geometry of the shadows or the glint of the gold leaf. Instead, your internal vision takes over, painting soft, indigo-hued images of the room you have come to know so well. You can still feel the presence of the towering bookshelves, their massive silent forms standing guard around you like ancient, slumbering sentinels. Each book, with its unique story and weight, adds a layer of depth to the atmosphere, a collective heartbeat of knowledge that pulses in the silence. You are safe here, nestled in the very heart of history, and as the last of the day's events recede, you find yourself floating on a quiet, subterranean stream of consciousness. Your physical form feels weightless, as if the heavy stone walls have absorbed your fatigue and replaced it with a profound, anchoring sense of peace. The air remains cool, carrying the faint, lingering perfume of leather and time, a scent that acts as a natural signal to your nervous system that all tasks are complete. There is nothing left to decide, nothing left to analyze, and nothing left to pursue. The bookbinder has long since departed, leaving the library to its own devices, and you are the sole witness to the stillness that remains. This solitude is not lonely, it is expansive. It is the kind of quiet that you feel in your bones, a stillness that resonates with the very structure of the library itself. You are drifting deeper into the folds of the night, feeling the heavy, luxurious sensation of your muscles loosening one by one. Consider the silence as a physical substance, like liquid, silver, or soft, unspun wool. It fills every crack in the floorboards, every gap between the books, every space between your thoughts. It is a protective barrier, keeping the restless world at bay. Outside these walls, the city of Cordoba might be experiencing the complexities of life, perhaps a late night feast in a nearby courtyard, the soft murmur of nocturnal conversations, or the distant melodic notes of a lute floating on the breeze. But those sounds cannot penetrate the thick stone and the intent of this sanctuary. Here, the only sound is the subtle, rhythmic expansion and contraction of your own chest, a gentle natural tempo that lulls you toward the threshold of deep slumber. You are becoming one with the library, a quiet fixture in this house of wisdom. As you linger in this state, think of the resilience of the books that surround you. They have survived centuries of change, shifting rulers, and the turning of tides. Yet they remain here bound in their leather, protected by their golden spines. They have a tenacity that you can draw upon tonight. Just as these books have held their shape and their story through the ages, you have successfully held your own through the challenges of your day. Now it's time for you to rest, to let your pages fall closed, and to trust that tomorrow will be there when you are ready. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to be empty of thought. You are allowed to simply exist, wrapped in the knowledge that you have done enough. The image of the library remains vivid in your mind, the long, sweeping curves of the arches, the way the moonlight used to graze the edges of the volumes, and the comforting, dusty smell of ancient paper. It is a place you can return to whenever the world feels too loud or the demands of the day feel too pressing. It is your own private memory palace, a fortress of calm. Whenever you feel the urge to rush or the sting of anxiety, you can close your eyes and find yourself back here, seated on the comfortable bench, listening to the phantom echo of a brass hammer on leather, watching the gold dust settle into the silence. You are cultivating this landscape within yourself, building a place that is as permanent and peaceful as the library itself. Feel the floor beneath you steady and immovable. Feel the air around you cool and still. Feel the space you occupy, a space that is entirely yours and entirely at peace. You are descending further into the quiet, the boundary between your awareness and the dream world becoming as thin and delicate as a page of parchment. There is no urgency in this transition. You are being gently guided by the weight of history and the soothing rhythmic pulse of the night. Every breath you take is deeper than the last. Every exhale a surrender to the comfort of the dark. You are resting in the heart of civilization, surrounded by the greatest thoughts of humanity, and you are perfectly, profoundly ready for sleep. The library is silent, the night is deep, and you are ready to find the rest that is the natural conclusion to such a quiet and beautiful day. The darkness has reached a state of perfect equilibrium, a velvet void where the boundaries of the self begin to dissolve into the architecture of the room. You are no longer just a person in a library. You are a part of the library itself, a silent, static element in a grand historical arrangement. The air is so still that it feels like a heavy protective blanket, insulating you from the passage of time. Somewhere in the deep recesses of the shelves, the scent of old binding glue, aged leather, and dried ink has become a part of your own aura. You are breathing it in, and with every cycle, it anchors you further into the bedrock of this sanctuary. The silence here is not a lack of sound, but an abundance of peace, a thick, rich medium that supports your spirit and allows it to expand without effort. As you sink deeper into this state of rest, you become aware of the sheer weight of the books around you. Each one is a monument to an idea, a vessel for a human life that has long since passed, leaving behind only the distilled essence of their thoughts. They are patient. These books, they have waited years, decades, perhaps centuries to be opened, and they will wait just as patiently for the next dawn. This patience is contagious. You feel your own sense of urgency fading, the sharp edges of your daily ambitions blunted by the vast, slow-moving tide of history. There is no need to prove anything here. There is no need to perform, to justify, or to explain. You are just a guest in a home where time has been invited to take a very long, very deep nap. Consider the intricate wood carving on the ceiling above you. Even in the absolute darkness, you know it is there. The delicate hand-carved vines and geometric stars. The masterwork of a craftsman who likely spent months perfecting a single ruff. He is gone. His hands long turned to dust, but his work remains, holding up the roof, sheltering the books and sheltering you. You are part of this continuum of labor and beauty. Just as he carved the bookbinder pressed gold and you are resting. Each of you has your own rhythm, your own purpose, and your own time in the sun. Tonight, your purpose is simply to let go. You are honoring the stillness by accepting it fully, by allowing your mind to mirror the calm, orderly, and serene environment that surrounds you. You might notice the physical sensation of the library as a form of grounding. The floor, made of cool, solid stone, draws the heat from your body, balancing you, cooling you, and preparing you for a deep, dreamless rest. Your limbs feel heavy, as if they were carved from the same warm wood as the bookshelves. There is a sense of gravity here that is comforting rather than pulling, a gentle, steady force that reminds you that you belong to the earth and that it is okay to rest your head on its surface. Every time you exhale, you feel yourself drifting further from the surface, sinking into a dark, calm pool of consciousness where the ripples of the day's events are completely smoothed out. There is a rhythm to the night that you are just now beginning to perceive. It is the slow, steady hum of the earth itself, a low-frequency vibration that is usually drowned out by the noise of human activity. Here in the heart of Cordoba's quietest corner, that hum becomes audible to the soul. It is a steady, reassuring thrum that says, all is well. Everything is moving exactly as it should. The stars are in their places, the books are on their shelves, and your heart is beating in time with the world. You find that you can listen to this internal cosmic music, and it serves as the ultimate lullaby. It doesn't require any effort to hear. You simply have to let go of the need to hear anything else. As the night progresses, the stillness becomes even more absolute. The house is sleeping, the city is sleeping, and you are being pulled along in the wake of that universal rest. You are a small, quiet island in a great dark ocean, drifting toward the horizon of sleep. There is no fear of the dark. It is a warm, familiar presence that knows your name and understands your need for silence. You are safe. The history of this place is a wall between you and the worries of the world. Every book on the shelf is a lock on that wall. Every shelf is a reinforcement. You are tucked away in the safest place in the world, a place where time stands still and where the only thing that matters is the slow, rhythmic beating of your heart as it prepares to carry you into the deepest, most restorative sleep you have ever known. The deep, resonant silence of the library continues to wrap around you like a heavy silk tapestry, woven with threads of shadows and ancient memory. There is a profound sense of continuity in this space, a realization that the peace you are experiencing now is exactly the same peace that a scholar might have felt in the year 970. You are stepping into a long, unbroken lineage of quiet contemplation. The stone beneath your feet seems to hum with a secret, steady vibration. an ancient melody of stability that has survived the rise and fall of empires, the shifting of languages, and the relentless march of human progress. In this century, you are not merely a visitor, you are a continuation of the tradition of finding refuge in the wisdom of the past. The library is a living, breathing testament to the human need for reflection, and by simply existing here in this darkness, you are participating in the most essential of human activities, the act of resetting the spirit through profound rest. As you allow yourself to sink further into this atmosphere, consider the books that surround you. They are not static objects, they are silent teachers. Their contents locked away in vellum and calfskin, waiting for the right moment to reveal their secrets. Even in the darkness, you feel the weight of their collective knowledge, a gentle pressure that keeps you tethered to the ground, while your mind begins to drift toward the stars. The air is cool and thin, a crisp, clean environment that clears your senses and prepares your mind for the deep, restorative layers of sleep. You find that you can visualize the spines of the books, their weathered leather, their faded gold lettering, their subtle, unique patterns, and each one represents a doorway to a different world, a different thought, a different way of seeing reality. By staying here, you are choosing to close those doors for the night, tucking away the complexity of the world and choosing the simplicity of the silence. The rhythmic, heartbeat-like cadence of the night continues to guide you, a natural metronome that keeps your breathing steady and slow. You can feel the transition between your waking consciousness and the dream state becoming increasingly fluid. It is as if you are moving through a series of veils, each one lighter and more transparent than the last. With every layer you pass through, you leave behind more of the day's residual stress, more of the tasks you thought were urgent, and more of the anxieties that once felt so heavy. They are falling away, stripped from your shoulders like an ill-fitting garment. You are light now. You are unencumbered. You are drifting toward the absolute center of your own being, where the only thing that exists is the quiet, calm certainty that you are safe and that tomorrow is a distant, gentle promise. This sanctuary, this private library in Cordoba is your anchor. No matter where you go in your daily life, no matter how loud the world becomes or how chaotic the circumstances you face, you can always return to this memory. You can always pull back the heavy cedar doors, step into the cool leather-scented air, and find your place at the workbench. You can always watch the phantom lantern light dance on the walls and listen to the soft, rhythmic echo of the hammer. This library is a part of your mental architecture now, a safe room built from the finest materials of human history. Whenever you feel your spirit becoming frayed or your mind becoming cluttered, you can return here to be mended, to be smooth, and to be gilded with the gold leaf of tranquility. As you linger on this thought, feeling the immense relief of letting go of your control, consider the beauty of the life you are building for yourself. It is a life that values peace as much as it values achievement, a life that understands that rest is not a waste, but the foundation upon which all real strength is built. You are investing in your own well-being by choosing this path of relaxation, and that is a noble and necessary act. If you find that this journey into the historical quiet provides you with the solace you have been seeking, consider sharing this space with others by subscribing to our channel and joining our growing community of listeners who value the power of historical reflection. Your support allows us to continue crafting these detailed immersive sanctuaries where everyone can find a moment of stillness in an increasingly fast-paced world. The darkness is now complete, a warm enveloping blanket that removes all visual distractions and allows you to experience the world through the soft tactile sensations of the library. You feel the weight of the book covers in your imagination, the rough texture of the wall, the coolness of the air, and the absolute absence of tension in your limbs. You are ready now. The journey has been long, the path has been calm, and the destination is the deep, dreamless sleep that you so richly deserve. Let the silence be your guide. Let the history of this room be your cushion. Let the darkness be your embrace. You are done for the day. You are safe. You are ready to rest. Sleepy History with Arthur combines the power of AI to reimagine fictional historical tales, bringing peace, relaxation, and positive emotional values to our listeners. The transition into the deep reaches of the night is now seamless, a slow descent into the velvet indigo of total relaxation. You are resting at the very heart of the library, the center of this architectural room, where the walls feel like they are expanding and contracting in a slow hypnotic rhythm that mimics the breathing of the world itself. Because the lamps are out and the candles have long since flickered into nothingness, you are left with the pure, unadulterated essence of the room. It is a space defined by history, by the weight of millions of words held in suspension, and by the sheer magnificent absence of noise. You feel as though you have been peeled away from the outer layers of reality, where schedules and demands hold sway, and have arrived at the core, where only the slow, steady pulse of existence remains. Your body has fully surrendered to the environment. The chair beneath you feels like it was designed by a master sculptor who understood the exact contours of human rest. It supports you in a way that feels maternal, holding you against the backdrop of the towering silent shelves. You feel the cool temperature of the air on your skin, a gentle, crisp reminder of the stone walls that shield you from the desert heat of the outside world. This temperature is not cold, it is the perfect, refreshing equilibrium that allows the mind to slow down and the spirit to cool after a long day of exertion. It is the temperature of a deep, dream-filled sleep, a climate designed for the restoration of the soul. Think for a moment about the durability of the materials that surround you. The leather of the bookbindings, tanned with vegetable tannins and worked with patient hands, is meant to last for lifetimes. The vellum, processed from the finest hides, is strong enough to withstand the turning of pages for centuries. Even the iron fittings on the doors and the brass of the lanterns are made with a permanence that is alien to the modern era. This sense of durability is transferable. By being surrounded by these objects, you absorb their quality. You feel yourself becoming more solid, more enduring, more resistant to the erosion of stress. You are being built to last, just like the manuscripts that fill the shelves. You are an artifact of your own life, being carefully preserved and protected by the stillness of this library. The darkness is no longer a void, it is a landscape. You can feel the shape of the room as if you were mapping it with your own senses. The distance from the workbench to the shelves, the height of the vaulted ceiling that vanishes into the shadows, the solidity of the floorboards beneath your feet, all of these become anchors for your consciousness. You are floating within this space, a consciousness tethered to the calm, grounded physical reality of a place that has seen the rise and fall of kingdoms, yet remained unchanged. There is something profoundly reassuring about this. The world might be changing rapidly, with new ideas, new politics, and new technologies emerging every day. But here, in the library of 970, the truth remains constant. The truth is found in the quiet, in the reflection, and in the patient, meticulous work of the craftsman. As you drift, you find that your thoughts are no longer linear. They don't move from point A to point B. Instead, they bloom like flowers in the dark. A memory of a soft scent, the feeling of a cool breeze, the sound of a distant melodic hum. These images float in and out of your awareness, unattached to any narrative or pressure. You are in the dream gate, the threshold where the subconscious begins to take over the work of organizing your mind. It is a blissful, lazy process. You don't have to direct it, you don't have to guide it, you simply have to allow it to happen. The library is holding you, protecting you, and ensuring that your transition into the deep, dark night is as gentle as possible. Consider the silence once more. It is a presence. It is a vast, calm ocean that you are swimming in, weightless and free. There is no shore to reach, no destination to arrive at. You are already exactly where you need to be. The history of this place, the thousands of hours of study that have occurred within these walls, the collective focus of the scholars who once sat where you are sitting now, it all contributes to the heaviness of the air, a spiritual weight that acts as a gravity pulling you down into the rest you require. You are being pulled down by the gravity of peace, and it feels absolutely wonderful. You are giving yourself permission to stop, to cease your striving, to put down the burden of your identity, and to simply be a part of the quiet, beautiful, and eternal fabric of this library. The stillness has settled into your very marrow, a profound weighted calm that makes even the act of thinking feel like a distant, unnecessary effort. You are floating in the deepest part of the library, where the ambient sounds of the world have been replaced by the quiet internal symphony of your own steady heart. The darkness is now so absolute that it feels like a soft physical embrace, a velvet curtain that has been drawn across the windows of your consciousness. You are no longer navigating the room with your eyes, you are navigating it with your soul, feeling the presence of the towering, shelf-lined walls as a protective circle. This is the sanctuary of the mind, a place where no outside force can penetrate, where no demand can reach you, and where your only responsibility is to surrender to the pull of the coming rest. Every breath you take feels like an inhalation of centuries of wisdom. The air is still, untroubled by the movement of people or the disruption of wind. It is as if the entire room is holding its breath in anticipation of your deep, restorative slumber. You can feel the coolness of the stone floor radiating upward, a gentle grounding influence that anchors you in the present moment. This coolness is an antidote to the heat of the day, a cooling balm for a mind that has been working and striving. As you let yourself sink into the comfort of this silence, you realize that you are perfectly safe. The library is a fortress, and you are the honored guest, tucked away in the safest, quietest corner, guarded by the silent, leather-bound sentinels that line the shelves. Consider the sensation of letting go. It is not an act of falling, but an act of releasing. Imagine each thought that comes into your mind as a page in a book. One by one, you are closing those books. You see the heavy ornate covers swinging shut, the brass clasps clicking into place with a sound that is muffled and soft. The first book is the day's work. You close it, and the pressure of the deadline vanishes. The second book is the list of things you need to do tomorrow. You close it, and the anxiety of the future disappears. The third book is the concern you have about someone else's opinion. You close it, and the need for validation dissipates. One by one, the library of your mind is being organized, the books are being shelved, and the room is being locked for the night. You are making space for the true silent rest that lies beneath all of these superficial concerns. There is a rhythm to this process, a slow, gentle cadence that matches the heartbeat of the library. With every book you close, you feel lighter, more spacious, and more aligned with the quiet energy of the room. You are not losing anything by closing these books. You are gaining peace. You are gaining the ability to be still, which is the most precious capacity a human being can possess. The scholars of Cordoba understood this. They knew that in order to learn, in order to create, and in order to truly exist, one must have access to this kind of absolute silence. They built these libraries not just as storage for paper and ink, but as technologies for the human spirit, places designed to cultivate the kind of depth that can only be found in the absence of distraction. By being here, you are reclaiming that ancient technology. You find yourself becoming increasingly sensitive to the micro sounds of the environment. A slight ghostly settling of the wooden shelves as they expand and contract in the cool air. The almost imperceptible creak of the floorboards under the weight of the massive stone-laden structure. The way the air itself seems to shimmer with the dust of ages. These are the voices of the library, and they are whispering a lullaby. They are telling you that you are part of a long eternal story, a story that does not depend on your effort, but on your participation. You don't have to write a book. You just have to rest in the library. You don't have to lead the expedition. You just have to exist in the sanctuary. This is the ultimate profound permission to simply be. As the boundary between your awareness and the infinite becomes thinner, you feel a sense of expansion. You are not just in the room, you are the room, you are the cool stone, you are the aged parchment, you are the golden light that remains in the memory of the walls, you are the silence itself. This expansion is the precursor to the deepest sleep, the state of being where you are no longer separate from the world but a harmonious part of it. You are safe, you are held, you are at the very end of your journey for the day, and the destination is the perfect velvet void of sleep. The silence is complete, the night is deep, and you are ready to let the last of your awareness drift away, leaving you in a state of grace and total unblemished rest. The silence within this library has matured into something almost tangible, a heavy velvet-like substance that supports your very existence as you drift toward the edge of sleep. You are cocooned in the deep ancient history of Cordoba, where the centuries melt away, leaving you in a state of timelessness. Every breath is a slow, measured draw of the cool, cedar-scented air, and with each exhale, you feel yourself descending deeper into a state of total unadulterated comfort. If you have found that the rhythmic historical solace of this library has brought you to a place of profound rest, and you wish to support the continued creation of these tranquil sanctuaries, please consider subscribing to our channel and joining our community of listeners. Your presence and your engagement are the foundation upon which this library of peace is built, allowing us to share this quietude with others who seek a refuge from the noise of the world. As you lean back into the darkness, you become aware of how truly still your body has become. Your hands, once perhaps restless or filled with the tension of the day, are now completely limp, resting like fallen leaves upon the surface of your own quiet landscape. There is no desire to move, no twitch of a muscle, no ripple of nervous energy. You are anchored in this sanctuary, and the library itself seems to hold you in place, its vast walls acting as a spiritual ballast for your wandering mind. You are witnessing the culmination of your day's efforts, the transition from the active striving self to the dormant receptive self. It is a beautiful, necessary process, and you are allowing it to unfold with perfect natural ease. Think about the architecture of this space, the high vaulted arches that reach toward a ceiling you cannot see, the sturdy pillars that have held this weight of knowledge for generation after generation. These structures were built with the intent of longevity, of endurance through the ages. By resting here, you are borrowing that endurance. You are letting the strength of the stone enter your own spirit, replacing the fragility of your daily worries with the durability of these ancient silent materials. You are not just resting, you are being reinforced. You are being rebuilt from the inside out, made sturdier and more peaceful by the simple act of occupying a space that has been designed for the preservation of wisdom and the quiet of the soul. The darkness is no longer a void. It is a canvas upon which your mind can finally rest. You are no longer required to look at the external world, to analyze it, or to react to it. Instead, you are invited to turn your gaze inward, where the light is soft, gentle, and unchanging. Go out here in the inner library of your subconscious. You find all the peace you have gathered throughout your life. The memories of quiet mornings, the feeling of sunlight on your face, the simple joy of being unhurried. These memories are the books on the shelves of your own spirit, and tonight they are all closed, their contents safely stored, their energy kept in reserve for when you wake. You are resting in the empty space between the books, the quiet blank margin that allows the text to be read and understood. As you drift, you might notice that the rhythm of your own heart has slowed to match the deep, slow pulse of the library itself. It is a harmonious, almost musical state of being where your internal processes are no longer working against the world, but are fully integrated with it. You are a natural part of this environment, as essential to it as the books themselves. This is the ultimate, profound satisfaction of the scholar's life, the knowledge that everything has its place, everything has its time, and that you too have a place where you are completely, unequivocally at home. You are not rushing toward a goal. You are arriving at a destination of total stillness, a place where you can finally lay down your armor and be exactly who you are without pretension or effort. The night outside the heavy cedar doors is vast and filled with the mysteries of the cosmos, but here there is only the intimate domestic scale of the library. It is a space designed for human comfort, for the quiet labor of the mind, and for the deep necessary repose of the body. You feel the weight of the blankets of sleep pressing down on you, a gentle, comforting pressure that says it is time to close your eyes completely. The journey has been long, but the destination is beautiful. You are enveloped in the scent of aged paper and leather, held by the silence of the stones and guided by the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. The transition to deep restorative sleep is imminent, and you are ready. You are perfectly, beautifully ready. The environment around you has stabilized into a state of absolute, eternal calm. You are now resting in a space where time is not a linear progression of minutes and hours, but a circular, repeating cycle of light and shadow, work and rest. The library feels as though it is exhaling a long, slow release of energy that settles into the floorboards and the bookshelves. You feel that release in your own body, a profound physical surrender to gravity. There is no longer any separation between you and the wood, the stone, or the silence. You are a part of the architecture, a silent, dreaming inhabitant of this grand design. The air, cool and dry, carries the faint, nostalgic perfume of dust and parchment, a scent that acts as a physical tether to the history that surrounds you, keeping you grounded even as your consciousness begins to float away from the shore of wakefulness. Observe the way your awareness is now localized, focused entirely on the sensations of comfort and safety. You can feel the chair, the cool surfaces of the library, and the absolute lack of any external pressure. It is a luxurious sensation, the feeling of being completely unburdened. Imagine your responsibilities for tomorrow as a set of heavy keys that you have laid down on a table. You do not need to carry them until the morning. They are safe. They are waiting for you in their proper place. But for now, you have placed them down. You have let go of the weight. You are free to simply exist in this darkened space, untethered and weightless. This is the true gift of the scholar's sanctuary, the ability to set down the tools of the trade and simply be, to let the mind recover its strength in the stillness. Consider the silence as a sound in itself, a low resonant drone that hums beneath the surface of everything. It is a peaceful, welcoming sound, the sound of a world that has stopped its frantic motion and is waiting for you to catch up. In this silence, you find that your thoughts are no longer jagged or sharp. They have become rounded, soft, and diffuse, like distant clouds against a twilight sky. They drift, they merge, and they disappear. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to capture them. You only need to witness them as they pass through the field of your attention and fade into the darkness of the room. You are the observer of your own mind, and you are a kind and patient observer, allowing yourself the time and space to let everything resolve into a state of quiet. The physical library seems to be expanding around you, the walls pushing outward into the vast, dark expanse of the Cordoban night. You are sitting in the center of a giant, quiet vessel, a ship of wisdom sailing through the dark ocean of the centuries. The stars outside, though you cannot see them, are reflected in the stillness of your own spirit. You are connected to the vastness of the universe, yet you are cradled by the intimacy of this room. The balance between the infinite and the personal is perfect. You are safe, you are protected, and you are being carried toward the deep sleep that will restore your strength and clarify your mind. The rhythm of the room, the slow, subtle expansion and contraction is your rhythm now. It is a slow, steady pulse that regulates your breathing and keeps your heart in perfect, serene alignment with the world. As you linger in this space, you might find yourself reflecting on the nature of the books that surround you. They were written by people who were just like you, people who felt, who struggled, who dreamed, and who needed to rest. Their words are trapped in ink, waiting for someone to read them, but their spirit is in the silence. You are in a direct line with those ancient authors. You are a part of the long human conversation that has sustained our species through all its trials. By finding this rest, you are honoring that conversation. You are proving that wisdom is not just about learning, it is about knowing when to be still. You are practicing the ultimate, most sophisticated form of knowledge, the knowledge of how to return to yourself. The darkness is now so complete that you could believe you are floating in the middle of space or drifting on a calm, moonless sea. There is no top, no bottom, no edge to the sanctuary. You are simply present, a point of consciousness in a room filled with the echoes of ancient thought. The peace you feel is not temporary, it is permanent, a foundation that you have built during these quiet moments of contemplation. You can take this foundation with you. When you leave this library, when you return to the world of noise and urgency, you will carry this silence within you. It is your secret, your anchor, and your armor. For now, however, it is your bed. Let the darkness take you. Let the silence hold you. The library is resting, the world is resting, and you are finally fully resting as well. The depth of the silence has reached a point where it feels almost electric, a vibrant hum-like quality that permeates every corner of the room. You are resting in the heart of this ancient library, and you can feel the immense gravity of the knowledge held within these walls, pulling you deeper into the comfort of your own subconscious. It is as if the thousands of manuscripts are vibrating with a soft, steady energy, a cumulative frequency of 1,000 years of human thought that acts as a gentle rhythmic pulse for your entire system. This pulse is slow, deep, and utterly unwavering. It is the steady heartbeat of history itself. And as you match your own breathing to its pace, you feel yourself drifting further away from the outer edges of the world. The world of form, of movement, and of sound has completely receded, leaving only the reality of this dark, quiet, and profoundly sacred space. Consider the sensation of being completely sheltered. You are tucked away behind the heavy, thick walls of the library in a sanctuary that was built to withstand the passage of time. Outside, the seasons changed, the stars move across the sky, and the centuries roll by. But here, the climate is constant. The temperature remains cool and dry. The air remains still and filled with the scent of age, and the silence remains unbroken. You are existing in a pocket of reality that is resistant to the chaos of the outside world. This is the ultimate form of security. By choosing to inhabit this space, you are choosing to step away from the transient and into the enduring. You are allowing your own spirit to stabilize, to become as calm and as solid as the stone foundation that supports these bookshelves. The darkness is now so familiar that it feels like home. You can imagine the textures of the room, the velvet soft dust on the top of the books, the cool polished grain of the oak workbench, the jagged, beautiful pattern of the carved ceiling. You don't need to see them to know they're there. You feel them in the architecture of your own memory. This is the power of the library. It leaves an imprint on the soul, a structural blueprint of peace that you can visit whenever you choose. Tonight, you are not just visiting, you are living within it. You are experiencing the deep restorative essence of this place, letting it wash over you and through you until there is no tension left to release. Every breath is a confirmation of your safety, and every heartbeat is a testament to the profound natural rhythm of life that you are now so perfectly in sync with. As you drift closer to the edge of deep sleep, think about the concept of the private scholar. In an age of distraction, there is something radical and beautiful about claiming a space for one's own reflection. You are that scholar tonight. You have claimed this library. You have shut the doors and you have committed yourself to the act of deep, uninterrupted rest. This is not an act of selfishness, but an act of profound self care. By filling your own cup with silence, by replenishing your reserves with the ancient power of this library, you are becoming a more grounded, more present, and more peaceful person. The energy you are cultivating tonight will stay with you when you wake, a silent golden reserve of calm that will inform your actions and your interactions tomorrow. The sensory landscape of the room is now focused entirely on the feeling of weightlessness. You are sinking into the chair, yet you feel as though you are floating. It is a dual sensation, one that represents the perfect state of rest. The body is fully supported and the mind is completely free. The burden of your identity, your name, your job, your history, your expectations is being set aside. It is resting on the table next to the tools of the binder. You don't need them right now. You are just a consciousness, a vessel of awareness that is being filled with the quiet, dark, and restorative water of the night. You are becoming a ripple in a very large, very calm pond, moving outward from the center with a slow, gentle, and inevitable motion. The journey you have taken to get to this point has been long, but it has been worth every step. You have navigated the noise of the day. You have traversed the stresses of the week, and you have finally arrived here. At the threshold of the deep, dark, and beautiful night, there is nothing else to do. There are no more sentences to read, no more gold leaf to press, no more decisions to make. The work is finished, the library is secure, the world is waiting for you to dream. And in those dreams, you will find the wisdom that the books only point toward. You are ready to let the silence take over, to sink beneath the surface, and to enter the restorative, dreamless sleep that is the birthright of every weary traveler. The library is your guardian, and the night is your sanctuary. The library has become a living, breathing entity of stillness, a colossal heart of knowledge that beats in slow, tectonic rhythms. You are resting at the very nexus of this space, where the convergence of centuries of intellectual endeavor creates a gravitational pull toward total relaxation. The darkness is no longer a void, it is a rich, tactile, and protective presence, a velvet shroud that encompasses you with the weight of antiquity. Because the library is made of stone, wood, and paper, it holds a temperature that is perfectly neutral, cool enough to clarify the mind, yet dense enough to keep the body wrapped in a warm, insulated layer of comfort. You feel as though you are a single resting thought in a mind that spans 1,000 years, a small but essential part of a grander, calmer history. Every element of the library is working in concert to lull you into the deepest state of repose. The way the heavy ornate rafters are arranged, the way the shelves are positioned to create a sense of secure enclosure, the way the very air feels charged with the presence of long-gone scholars. These are all environmental cues that signal to your nervous system that you are in a space where no harm can reach you. You are being held by history itself. The books on the shelves, with their dense, hand-pressed pages and their hand-sewn bindings, act as silent sentinels, standing guard over your sleep. They are the record keepers of humanity, and they are ensuring that, for this one night, you are shielded from the turbulence of the world. Think of the stillness as a language that you have finally learned to speak. It is a language of pauses, of quiet, and of the profound significance of not doing. Throughout your life, you have been taught the language of action, the verbs of striving, of achieving, of constantly moving toward the next objective. But tonight, you are practicing the language of the library. You are learning the grammar of the rest. You are discovering that a silence held for a long time is not empty, it is a treasure. It is full of the things that were left unsaid, the thoughts that were too large to be captured in words, and the feelings that were too deep to be expressed in anything other than the quiet, steady beating of your own heart. As you drift, notice the way your breathing has become almost involuntary, a natural tidal movement that you no longer have to direct. It is the breath of the library itself. When the building seems to settle, you exhale. When the shadows seem to lengthen, you inhale. You are in perfect sync with your surroundings, a human element in a beautifully orchestrated environment of peace. This level of integration is the ultimate goal of the sanctuary. It is the point where you stop looking at the environment and start being it. You are the stone, you are the leather, you are the gold, and you are the quiet, steady persistence of the truth. There is a particular lingering scent in the dark, a mixture of old organic materials that have been aging for generations. It is a grounding smell, one that reminds you of your own mortality, not in a way that creates fear, but in a way that creates perspective. Because your time is finite, your rest is precious, because your life is a singular golden line. The moments you spend in stillness are the most valuable moments of all. You are not losing time by sleeping, you are refining the time you have. You are tempering your spirit, cooling the blade of your mind so that when you wake, you will be sharp, clear, and ready to meet the challenges of your day with the grace and patience of the ancient scholars who once occupied these very chairs. The night is deep now, and the world is far away. There is no urgency in the room, no pressure to arrive anywhere, and no need to be anyone other than the person you are right now, a peaceful resting individual in the safest room in the city. The darkness is your bed, the silence is your blanket, and the history of this place is the song that will lead you into the deep, dark sea of sleep. There is nothing left to think about. The shelves are full, the work is done, and you are ready. Let the last threads of your conscious effort fall away. Let the room absorb your weight. Let the history of Cordoba wrap you in its long, slow, and beautiful dream. You are safe, you are at rest, and you are ready to sleep beneath the surface of the waking world, descending into the calm, restorative dark, where your true restoration begins. The library has transformed into a sanctuary of shadows, a realm where the physical limits of the wall seem to have dissolved into the vast, quiet night. You are resting in the heart of this space, floating on a sea of silence that is as deep as it is comforting. There is no longer a distinction between your internal experience and the room itself. You are an extension of the library, and the library is an extension of your own quest for peace. Every breath you take is a quiet, deliberate reclamation of your own spirit, a steady intake of the cool, dry air that has been circulating here for centuries. It feels as though you are inhaling the patience of 1,000 years, breathing in the collective calm of the scholars who once sat exactly where you are, finding the same refuge and experiencing the same surrender to the stillness. Consider the furniture around you. The oak table, worn smooth by the passage of time and the touch of countless hands, is a physical record of endurance. It has held the weight of heavy illuminated manuscripts, the steady hand of the scribe, and the weary elbows of the seeker. By resting your focus here, you are connecting to a lineage of quiet labor. You are not alone in your pursuit of peace. You are part of a long historic chain of people who understood that, without this stillness, the work of the mind cannot truly begin. The library is a school of patience, and tonight you are its most diligent student. You have mastered the art of being still, and in doing so, you have opened the door to the deepest kind of rest. The darkness is now your most intimate companion. It is a soft, velvet textured presence that understands your need to close your eyes, to hide from the demands of the world, and to curl inward toward your own center. There is no judgment in this darkness, only a warm, protective acceptance. You are not expected to be productive, to be efficient, or to be seen. You are expected only to exist. In this room, you are stripped of your titles, your duties, and your public persona. You are a human being in the simplest, most profound sense, a creature who needs rest, who deserves silence, and who thrives when given the space to dream. You may find your thoughts becoming like drifting dust motes in the light of an absent lantern. They move slowly, catching the phantom glow of your own imagination, rising and falling without direction. You don't need to track them, you don't need to categorize them. You are allowed to let them dissolve. As they vanish, they leave behind a clean, clear space, an empty page, a blank canvas, a pristine white sheet of parchment waiting for the morning. You are preparing your mind for the blank slate of tomorrow by clearing out the debris of today. This is the luxury of the scholar's library, the ability to reset, to start over, and to arrive at the dawn with a spirit that is as fresh as if it had never been burdened at all. The sensation of weightlessness is even more pronounced now. You feel as though you are suspended in the center of a great quiet room that is drifting through the ocean of time. The silence is the water, the darkness is the current, and you are the passenger. There is no steering required. The currents of history, the inertia of the building, and the natural heavy rhythmic pull of the earth are taking care of everything. You are simply along for the ride, and the ride is taking you toward the most beautiful, dark, and restorative sleep you have ever known. Your muscles are completely slack. Your breathing is a soft, rhythmic whisper, and your mind is an expanse of cool, still water. As you linger, consider the durability of what you are doing. By anchoring yourself in this feeling of safety, you are creating a neural map of tranquility. You are teaching your brain where the off switch is located. You are proving to your own system that it is safe to stop, that it is okay to let go, and that the world will not fall apart if you close your eyes for a few hours. This is a vital, necessary skill, and you are mastering it here. Under the protective gaze of the thousands of books that line these walls, you are the protagonist of this story, and the story is about your return to yourself. You are safe, you are at peace, and you are ready to let the final threads of your waking awareness slip away into the warm, inviting, and infinite dark. The library has become a vessel of absolute stillness, a quiet, darkened sanctuary that feels as though it is floating in the vast, silent sea of the Cordoban night. You are submerged in this stillness, feeling the cool, dry air brush against your skin like a soft, invisible blanket. The stone walls, thick and immovable, act as a barrier between the chaotic, demanding world of the present and the tranquil, preserved memory of the past. You can feel the sheer age of the stone, the way it has absorbed the silence of centuries, and you are allowing that coolness to seep into your own spirit. This is the ultimate profound form of insulation. You are protected by the weight of history, shielded by the architecture of wisdom, and cradled by the rhythmic, steady pulse of a building that has stood firm since the year 970. Your focus is now entirely internal, a quiet observation of the way your body responds to this environment. You feel your limbs becoming heavy, a luxurious velvet sensation of fatigue that feels more like an achievement than a burden. You have worked hard today. You have lived through the day's complexities, and now you have earned the right to collapse into this peace. There is no guilt in this release, only a deep, abiding satisfaction. You are like a book that has been read, a story that has reached its conclusion, and now you are being returned to the shelf to rest and wait for the light of a new day. This is the natural order of things, and you are accepting it with a sense of relief that reaches down into the very center of your being. Consider the silence not as a lack of sound, but as a presence that occupies the room. It is a dense, meaningful silence, a substance that you can almost taste. It tastes of dust, of time, of leather, and of the quiet concentration of 1,000 scholars. It is a taste of purity. In this library, the clutter of the world has been stripped away. The noise, the lights, the flickering screens, the rapid fire exchange of information. It all feels like a dream that you have finally woken up from. Who go out here? There is only the slow rhythmic beating of your own heart and the quiet structural groan of the building as it settles into the night. You are being lulled by the architecture itself, comforted by the stability of the wood and the stone. The darkness is now your reality. It is a deep indigo blue, the color of the sky just before the stars become truly vivid, or perhaps the color of the sea in the deepest, safest trench. You are floating in this indigo space, your mind untethered from the demands of logic or time. You don't need to plan. You don't need to remember. And you don't need to analyze. You are being permitted to simply be. This is a rare, precious state of being, a sanctuary that you have built for yourself out of the raw materials of rest and silence. You are the architect of your own peace, and you have built this library of the mind to be your permanent retreat. Whenever you feel the edges of your life becoming frayed, you can return here, to this exact spot, to this exact silence, and be made whole again. The rhythm of your breathing is the only thing that marks the passage of time, a soft, tidal movement that pulls you further into the depths of your own relaxation. Inhale, a long, steady draw of peace. Exhale, a long, steady release of everything you no longer need. You are filtering the day through the sieve of this library, keeping only the essence and letting the rest fall away. The trivial worries are gone. The small irritations are forgotten, and even the larger concerns feel distant and manageable, transformed by the calm perspective of this space. You are becoming a mirror of the library, composed, silent, and incredibly strong. You are holding your own space, standing firm in the quiet, and finding that there is more than enough strength within you to handle whatever tomorrow brings. You are moving closer to the heart of the dream. The edges of your awareness are soft and permeable, allowing the imagery of the library to blend with the landscape of your subconscious. You see the books, but they are now shadows of books, towering forms of wisdom that whisper encouragement. You feel the workbench, but it is now a place of finality where the last of your stress has been left behind. You are ready to close the doors of this memory and move into the deeper, darker, and more silent room of sleep. The library has done its work. It has provided the shelter, the quiet, and the comfort. Now, you are ready to let go completely. The silence is calling, the darkness is waiting, and you are perfectly, beautifully prepared to drift into the deepest, most restorative rest of your life. The environment has transitioned into a state of total meditative grace. The Library of Cordoba is no longer just a place you are visiting. It has become the very architecture of your mind. You feel the cool, heavy stone of the walls as if they were the boundaries of your own skin, holding you together in a state of perfect, unshakable composure. The air is stagnant in the most beautiful way, a still, preserved atmosphere that has been cleared of all the agitation of the outer world. In this absolute stillness, your awareness has begun to expand. You are no longer just sitting in the library, you are feeling it. You are the silence between the books, the shadow in the corner, and the calm that radiates from the center of the workbench. Every sensation you experience is magnified by the depth of your relaxation. You can feel the texture of the air, a cool, dry, and clean sensation that clears the mind as if you were standing at the edge of a mountain pass at dawn. You can feel the absolute unyielding firmness of the floor beneath you, a grounding force that tells your body it is safe to stop holding itself up. You can feel the deep, resonant darkness that surrounds you, a supportive, heavy presence that feels like the embrace of a long-lost friend. There is no need for light when you are this centered, for you are illuminated from within by the quiet, golden light of your own internal peace. Consider the work that has been done here. The manuscript, now bound in deep calfskin and pressed with gold, is a symbol of something permanent. It is a testament to the idea that beauty once created remains. You have created a moment of beauty tonight, a moment of profound lasting rest. You have bound your own day into a finished volume, sealed it with the gold of this experience, and placed it upon the shelf of your history. You are finished with the day. The story is complete. There is nothing more to add, no revisions to make, no final thoughts to finalize. The book is closed. You are free to walk away from the table, free to turn out the lantern, and free to disappear into the soft velvet dark of the night. The rhythm of the library is slow, a heartbeat that happens once every few minutes. It is the sound of the house breathing, the sound of wood cooling, the sound of stone shifting under the weight of the stars. It is a slow, steady pulse that acts as the perfect conductor for your own internal processes. You find that your mind has stopped chasing thoughts entirely. The thought stream has ceased to flow. Instead, you are sitting at the edge of a deep, calm, and perfectly still lake. There is no wind to ripple the surface, no movement to disturb the reflection of the dark velvet sky. You are watching the stillness, and in watching it, you are becoming it. You are the lake, you are the reflection, and you are the vast, quiet expanse of the night. This is the ultimate retreat in your imagination. You can see the cedar doors, their massive iron reinforced panels standing as a permanent barrier between you and the noise of the world. You have the key to this room, and you have chosen to use it to lock yourself in with the silence. You have chosen to protect your inner life from the encroachment of the external. This is a powerful sovereign act. You have declared that your peace is worth more than any obligation, that your rest is worth more than any demand, and that your own being is the most important territory you have to defend. By defending this sanctuary, you have made it real, and tonight it is as real as the bed you lie in and the air you breathe. As you slip closer to the final threshold of sleep, feel the way your consciousness is thinning out. The sharpness of your individual ego is fading. The boundary between you and the library is becoming completely transparent. You are no longer separate from the peace you are experiencing. You are peace itself. This is the goal of the entire experience, to arrive at a state where you are not seeking, but are merely present. You are present in the dark, present in the silence, and present in the deep, welcoming embrace of the coming sleep. The day is fully extinguished, like the final wick of the lantern. You are drifting into the deep, dark, and beautiful void where you will find the rest you need to be reborn in the morning. The atmosphere inside the library has become heavy with the scent of ancient cedar and the promise of endless rest. You are sinking deeper into the furniture, your physical form feeling as though it has been absorbed by the very fabric of the room. This is the profound quietude that the scholars of Cordoba sought, a sanctuary where the noise of the world is not just silenced, but rendered entirely non-existent. You find yourself drifting in the center of a space that feels infinite, where the walls are lined with the wisdom of the ages and the ceiling is a canopy of dark protective geometry. If this immersive descent into the history and stillness of a private sanctuary has brought you the peace and restoration you were seeking, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. By becoming a part of our community, you support the ongoing work of reimagining these historical havens. Go out ensuring that everyone has a place to retreat to when the world feels too loud. As you linger in this state, consider the weight of the air. It is not just oxygen and nitrogen, it is thick with the sediment of history. You are breathing in the legacy of thinkers, poets, and craftsmen who stood in these very halls long before you, their own worries settled by this same silence. There is a communal aspect to this rest, a feeling that you are being cradled by all those who came before you. You are part of an unbroken tradition of finding solace in the quiet. The stress of your modern day feels small, almost comical, when held against the vast, patient expanse of this library. The problems that seemed so urgent just an hour ago are now merely dust motes, settling slowly toward the stone floor, never to be disturbed again. The darkness is no longer something you perceive. It is something you inhabit. You feel its texture, a cool, smooth, and absolute embrace that offers no resistance. It is the perfect medium for your subconscious to begin the work of reconciliation. smoothing over the sharp edges of your day and aligning the broken pieces of your focus into a single, seamless whole. Your mind is like the gold leaf the bookbinder uses, fragile and delicate. But when pressed with the right amount of pressure and patience, it creates a surface of brilliant, enduring beauty. You are being pressed into shape by the weight of this quiet. You are becoming a masterpiece of rest, a testament to the fact that humans are designed not just for labor, but for the profound necessary act of simply existing in the dark. Listen to the sound of the silence again. It is not empty. If you pay close enough attention, you can hear the faint, high-frequency hum of the building itself, a structural vibration that acts as a low-level lullaby. It is the sound of stones that have been stacked in perfect harmony, the sound of wood that has been seasoned by decades of stillness. This is the music of the library, and it is playing specifically for you. It does not require your attention to be heard. It requires only your presence. And you are present fully and completely in this moment. You are not thinking about the next hour or the next day or the next year. You are here, and here is where you are supposed to be. The visualization of the library remains clear, even as your eyes begin to grow heavy with the sweet, liquid weight of sleep. You can see the dark spines of the books, the intricate carved patterns of the lantern that is now cold and dark, and the way the room seems to lean in toward you, protective and watchful. This is your domain tonight. You are the master of this silence, the architect of this peace. No one can enter, and no one can demand anything of you. You are insulated by stone and time, kept safe by the collective intent of 1,000 years of quiet. You are drifting, turning slowly like a leaf falling through the still air of a windless day, descending toward the soft, mossy floor of the deepest forest. Your breathing has reached a point of perfect rhythmic equilibrium. Each inhale brings you closer to the core of your own being, and each exhale lets go of the last vestige of the person you are in the light. You are becoming someone else, someone who is not defined by tasks or schedules, but by the ability to rest, to dream, and to be held by the darkness. This transition is not a loss of self, but a return to your original state, the state of the child who can sleep without fear, in a world that is large, ancient, and ultimately deeply kind. Let the final echoes of your daily concerns vanish into the dark. Let the library hold you. Let the sleep come, for you have earned it, you have reached for it, and now it is finally gently arriving. The quiet within this sanctuary has achieved a density that feels like a soft, invisible blanket resting upon your shoulders. You are nestled in the very center of the library, and the space around you seems to have folded in, creating a private pocket of stillness that is entirely disconnected from the flow of time. The darkness has a subtle, earthy quality, smelling of aged parchment, cold stone, and the distant cooling air of the Cordoban evening. You are no longer navigating the room. You are simply existing within it, a part of the quiet historical furniture. The walls, which were built to last for centuries, now serve as the boundary of your own temporary peaceful universe. They feel solid, protective, and unmoving, a bedrock of stability upon which you can rest your entire being. Everything that once felt demanding has now been rendered silent and small. The worries you carried earlier, the tension in your neck, the list of tasks, the voices of others have all drifted to the floor like autumn leaves. You are observing them from a great distance, watching as they become part of the dust and the shadow, forgotten and unimportant. This is the gift of the library. It shrinks the world down to a size that you can comfortably inhabit. It removes the necessity of being everything to everyone and asks only that you be yourself in the dark, in the quiet. You are learning that to be truly at peace, you must first be willing to let go of the parts of yourself that are only meant for the light. The rhythm of the night is now the only reality. It is a slow, pulsing frequency that you feel not with your ears, but with your skin and your bones. It is the steady, reassuring vibration of a building that has stood firm for 1,000 years. It says that the foundation is sound, the shelter is secure, and the inhabitant is safe. You are that inhabitant, you are the one being shielded, and you are the one being permitted to sleep. Feel how the chair supports you, the way it is shaped to hold your form, allowing you to release the muscles in your back, your shoulders, and your legs. With every moment, you are becoming more fluid, more yielding, more like a liquid settling into the bottom of a cool, clear vessel. Consider the beauty of the darkness. It is not an absence, it is a space. It is the space where creativity is born, where memory is consolidated, and where the spirit is mended. The light of the day is for doing, the darkness of the night is for becoming. In this library, you are becoming more of who you are when you are not distracted. You are becoming a person who is capable of deep silence, a person who is capable of profound restorative rest. This is a rare and beautiful state, and you should be proud of the effort it took to arrive here. You have negotiated the obstacles of the day and found your way to this, the most quiet corner of the world. As you lean further into the void, you might notice that the boundaries of your body are starting to soften. You are becoming aware of the space between your hands, the space between your feet, the space that exists within your own lungs. This space is not empty. It is filled with the same peaceful historical energy that occupies the library. You are merging with the environment. You are part of the bookshelf, part of the workbench, part of the cooling air. This is the ultimate relaxation, the point at which the you that you have been protecting all day begins to expand into the environment until there is no you left to protect, only the environment and the peace and the dark. The final shift toward deep sleep is beginning now. It is a subtle, almost imperceptible tilt, like a boat moving out of the harbor and into the open, calm sea. There is no struggle, no reaching for the shore, no fear of the dark water. You are perfectly equipped for this voyage. You have the weight of your own history to balance you, and the stillness of the library to guide you. The stars are distant, the city is silent, and the world is asleep. You are the last one awake, and you are finally ready to join the rest of the world in its slumber. Let the last thoughts dissolve like sugar in tea. Let the last muscles loosen like ropes being cut from a sail. The night is yours. The peace is absolute. You are sleeping now, descending into the dark, velvety core of sleep, where you will be held by the quiet of Cordoba until the sun rises again. The library has settled into a state of profound, crystalline silence, where even the memory of sound feels like a distant, irrelevant relic of a life lived long ago. You are resting at the very core of this sanctuary, and the stillness is so complete that it feels like you are floating in a vacuum of pure peace. The air is cool and impossibly still, holding the scent of ancient, leather-bound pages and the faint, sweet trace of wax that has long since cooled. You are anchored in this darkness, feeling the weight of the massive stone walls around you, providing a sense of absolute containment and safety. There is no longer any need to navigate the world, no need to interpret the light, and no need to participate in the frantic, unceasing rush of the day. You have arrived at the final destination of your journey, the quiet center of the human spirit. Every breath you take feels like a gentle rhythmic release of the final vestiges of your identity. You are slowly shedding the roles you played during the day, the expectations that were placed upon you, and the desires that drove your actions. They are falling away like heavy, burdensome layers of clothing, leaving you light, unencumbered, and ready for the absolute rest of the night. You can feel the chair beneath you, but it no longer feels like a surface. It feels like an extension of your own body, supporting you with a firm, unwavering patience that mirrors the patience of the ancient volumes on the shelves. You are being held by the library, protected by the historical weight of this place, and comforted by the deep, resonant darkness that refuses to yield to the worries of the outside world. Consider the nature of this darkness. It is not an empty, hollow absence of light. It is a rich, textured, and living darkness filled with the potential for renewal. It is the soil in which your dreams will grow, the protective shroud that will shield you from the chaos of the waking world while you undergo the necessary process of emotional and physical repair. In the darkness of the Cordoban library, you are safe from everything. You are safe from the scrutiny of others, safe from the pressure of your own ambitions, and safe from the noise that defines the modern era. You have stepped out of time and into a space that exists outside of history, a place where only your well-being, your breath, and your tranquility matter. The rhythm of your life has finally synchronized with the rhythm of the room. You are breathing in the slow, deep cadence of a building that has seen the rise and fall of civilizations, and you are breathing out the remnants of your daily fatigue. It is a harmonious, circular process that feels entirely natural, a return to a state of being that predates the complexity of your daily life. You are a natural part of this environment, just as essential as the dust that settles on the rafters or the faint cool breeze that drafts through the high-vaulted archways. You are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do, resting in the heart of the sanctuary, reclaiming your capacity for stillness. There is a strange, beautiful, and wonderful feeling of liberation in this state. You are realizing that the world does not depend on your constant vigilance. The stars will continue their movement across the sky. The history of Cordoba will remain written in the books on the shelves, and the world will continue to turn, even if you allow yourself to sink completely into the dark. You are not the center of the world's responsibilities. You are a person who needs to be restored. And by allowing yourself this restoration, you are doing the most important work of all. You are mending the fabric of your own spirit, strengthening the foundation of your own peace, and ensuring that you have the capacity to exist with grace and kindness when you return to the light. As you lean into the final moments of this experience, feel how the darkness embraces you, welcoming your surrender. The boundary between your body and the chair, between your skin and the cool air, is becoming indistinguishable. You are spreading out into the room, becoming a part of the quiet, the darkness, and the profound, enduring stillness of the library. There is nothing left to hold on to. The hands that reach for tasks are now folded in rest. The eyes that search for answers are now closed in peace. The heart that beat with the urgency of the day is now pulsing with the steady, slow, and restorative rhythm of the night. You are ready. The library is silent. The night is deep, and you are finally, completely, and beautifully ready to descend into the deep, dark, and restorative abyss of sleep, where you will find the rest you have worked so hard to earn. The absolute stillness of the library has now become the very air you breathe, a thick, cool, and ancient silence that presses gently against your skin. You are sitting at the heart of this great stone vessel, and the weight of the world outside has entirely vanished, replaced by the comforting, grounded gravity of thousands of books and the history they contain. Your body feels as if it were cast in iron, heavy and immovable, anchored to the floorboards by a profound magnetic fatigue. There is a strange, paradoxical freedom in this weight. By surrendering your physical strength to the chair, you have allowed your spirit to become light as a feather, floating effortlessly within the deep dark indigo of the library's internal night. Think about the sheer quiet resilience of this place. Every stone in these walls was cut and set with the intention of lasting beyond the life of the builder. Every page on these shelves was prepared with the intention of preserving a thought for the future. You are now resting in that future. You are the beneficiary of that long, patient labor. And by simply being here, by simply resting, You are the final step in that process of preservation. You are honoring the past by allowing it to provide you with the shelter you need tonight. You are the living embodiment of the library's purpose. A person who has found the wisdom to stop, to be still, and to let the noise of the universe fade into the background. Consider the sensation of the darkness again, how it isn't just a lack of light, but a physical presence that wraps around you like a heavy velvet cloak. In this darkness, your other senses have grown quiet, and your mind has been granted the rare gift of total inactivity. There is no need to analyze the geometry of the ceiling, no need to count the books, and no need to imagine the faces of those who walked here before. You are moving beyond the need for thought entirely. You are entering the realm of pure, unadulterated sensation, where the only thing that exists is the feeling of the cool air, the solidity of the chair, and the rhythmic, steady pulse of your own heart. This is the ultimate quietest sanctuary you have ever inhabited, and it is entirely yours for the duration of this night. As you drift, you find that your breathing is no longer a conscious effort. It is a natural tidal ebb and flow, synchronized perfectly with the slow tectonic pulse of the earth itself. It is a slow, steady, and incredibly deep breath, a breath that travels all the way down to the base of your spine and back out into the room. With each exhale, you release another layer of the person you were yesterday. You are peeling back the skin of your daily routine, letting go of the habits, the worries, and the small petty anxieties that define your waking hours. They are dissolving into the dust of the library, becoming one with the history that lines these shelves. You are becoming a blank, clean slate, ready to be written upon by the soft, dark mystery of your own dreams. The room seems to be expanding, the walls pushing outward into the infinite dark of the Cordoban night. You are no longer just a person in a chair. You are a conscious presence in a temple of quiet. You can feel the vastness of the library, the height of the vaulted ceiling, the depth of the shadows, and the thickness of the stone floors. It is a space designed to humble the ego and elevate the soul, and you are feeling both effects at once. You are humble in the presence of so much history, and you are elevated by the peace that this history provides. You are the nexus point where the past meets the present, and the only thing that connects them is your own deep and unwavering ability to be still. Finally, the boundary between the present moment and the dream state is becoming thin enough to pass through. You feel the pull of the sleep, a gentle, irresistible current that is drawing you down into the calm, cool depths of your own subconscious. There is no resistance left in you. You are ready to let go of the last threads of your conscious awareness. The library will hold you. The history will protect you. The silence will guide you into the darkest, softest, and most restorative sleep of your life. Let the darkness take you. Let the silence be your cradle. You are safe. You are finished with the day, and you are perfectly, beautifully ready to sleep. The library has become a cavern of pure resonant silence, a place where the air itself feels as thick and stabilizing as liquid amber. You are resting at the very center of this silence, and you can feel the immense grounding weight of the books, the shelves, and the stone floor pressing gently against your consciousness. There is no longer any separation between your physical presence and the history that saturates this room. You are not merely a guest. You are an essential, silent element of the library's architecture. The cool, dry air, which holds the faint, sweet scent of aging paper and polished cedar, is the only thing moving in the vast shadow space, and it seems to be circulating around you, wrapping you in a protective, invisible layer of calm. You have reached a state of total surrender. Every muscle in your body has let go of its need to hold or to act. Your hands, which have navigated the challenges of your day, are now completely at peace, resting against the worn wood of the workbench. Your feet are anchored, your spine is relaxed, and your mind, that once busy, frantic, and demanding landscape, has been transformed into a perfectly still, dark pond There is no ripple on the surface of your awareness. There is only the vast, deep, and dark water, reflecting the stillness of the library and the quiet, unending peace of the night. You are not waiting for anything. You are not anticipating the morning. You are entirely, beautifully consumed by the present. Think of the books that surround you as anchors. Each one represents a mind that struggled, questioned, and ultimately found its way to a moment of quiet insight. By being here, you are participating in that same process. You are letting go of the struggle, letting go of the question, and arriving at the insight. That peace is not something you find in the world, but something you cultivate within yourself when you are willing to step away from the noise. This is the masterwork of your day. It is the most important labor you have performed, and now, as the darkness deepens, you are being rewarded with a rest that is as profound and enduring as the stone walls that guard this sanctuary. The rhythm of the library is your rhythm now. It is a slow, pulsing cadence, a heartbeat of stability that has been beating since the 10th century. It is an ancient, steady, and unbreakable pulse. When you match your breathing to this rhythm, you feel yourself becoming part of the foundation. You are no longer vulnerable. You are no longer exposed. You are part of the stone, a part of the wood, and a part of the history that makes this place a sanctuary. You are safe in the dark, and the dark is safe in you. It is a symbiotic relationship, a harmony that allows you to release the final fragments of your attention and drift into the velvet soft interior of your own mind. As you lean into the sleep that is now so close, visualize the library as a giant dark ship sailing through the endless night. You are safely tucked into the deepest, most secure cabin in the center of the vessel. The world outside is a stormy, chaotic sea of noise and demand. But here, the water is calm. You are moving through the night, not toward a destination, but simply moving in grace and safety. There is no urgency in the ship's path. There is no schedule to follow. There is only the slow, rhythmic rocking of the vessel and the comforting, absolute silence of the deep. You are a passenger in this journey, and your only responsibility is to sleep, to dream, and to be restored. The threshold of your awareness is now so thin that you can hear the silence hum. It is a beautiful low frequency vibration that feels like a blessing. You're being lowered by the weight of the past, held by the strength of the building, and cradled by the darkness of the night. Every thought you have is a feather being blown away by a soft, warm breeze. Every feeling you harbor is being smoothed out by the steady pressure of the quiet. You are sinking deeper, falling further away from the surface of the world, and descending into the beautiful, dark, and restorative abyss where your dreams will take over the work of your mind. You are finally completely and utterly at rest. The library is silent. The night is yours, and you are ready to let the world disappear entirely into the perfect, deep, and dreamless sleep that you have worked so hard to reach. The library has deepened into a realm of absolute, hallowed silence, where the very atmosphere seems to have thickened into a protective velvet shroud. You are resting at the epicenter of this ancient sanctuary, feeling the cool, steadying influence of the stone floors and the towering cedar shelved walls that rise into the darkness like the pillars of a temple dedicated to the art of being still. There is no longer a sense of time. The distinction between the 10th century and the present has evaporated, leaving only the timeless, immutable reality of the quiet. You are floating in this space, a consciousness untethered from the demands of your physical life, held firmly in the center of a history that is as vast, dark, and comforting as the night sky outside. Your focus is now so singular, so refined, that you can feel the subtle vibrations of the building itself, a low tectonic hum that represents the collective weight of centuries of scholarship, observation, and reflection. It is an incredibly soothing frequency, one that aligns with your own breathing, guiding you deeper and deeper into the state of surrender. You are experiencing the full, profound weight of this library, not as a burden, but as a ballast. It is holding you down, securing you against the fleeting, chaotic nature of the surface world, and allowing you to sink comfortably and without resistance into the fertile darkness of your own mind. Consider the objects around you, even though you cannot see them. The texture of the leather bindings, the coolness of the brass hinges, the rough ancient grain of the table, they all possess a quality of permanence that is deeply restorative to your spirit. You are absorbing that quality. You are becoming more permanent, more solid, more resistant to the erosion of daily stress. You are being built from the inside out, reinforced by the quiet of this room. The anxieties that you once felt, the lists you were once keeping, the expectations you were once managing, they are all at this moment completely meaningless. They have no place in this library. They are not allowed to exist in this silence. You have effectively locked them outside the heavy iron reinforced doors, leaving them to vanish in the cold, thin air of the outside world while you remain here, warm and protected in the deep, ink-dark belly of the past. The rhythm of your life is now entirely controlled by the library. Every inhalation is a measured, respectful draw of the quiet air. Every exhalation is a surrender of the ego, a release of the self that has been performing and striving all day long. You are becoming anonymous. You are becoming a nameless presence in a room full of forgotten wisdom. This anonymity is the ultimate luxury. It is the freedom to be nothing, to have no name, no reputation, and no tasks. You are just a human being in the dark, and that is more than enough. You are worthy of this rest, not because of what you have done, but simply because you are here, and you are part of the vast, intricate, and beautiful web of human experience that this library seeks to preserve. As you lean into the final stage of your transition, you realize that the room is no longer just around you, it is inside you. The darkness of the library has seeped into your bones, replacing the brittle, frantic energy of the day with a cool, calm, and heavy stillness. You are becoming the sanctuary. You are the wall. You are the book. You are the shadow. And you are the quiet. This is the integration of the soul with its environment. You are no longer in the library. You are the library. And because you are the library, you are capable of holding all the weight, all the history, and all the peace that has been built into this space. The pool of sleep is now an overwhelming gentle force, like the tide receding from a beach, leaving the sand smooth, clean, and waiting for the morning. You are letting go of the last threads of your conscious effort. The language of the day is fading. The symbols of your life are losing their meaning. The map you have been using to navigate the world is being folded up and put away. You are descending into the deep, dark, and beautiful water of your own subconscious. There is no fear here, only the soft, endless embrace of the void. The library is resting, the history is sleeping, and you are drifting down, down, down into the deepest, most restorative slumber, held by the stone, guarded by the books, and wrapped in the infinite, gentle silence of the night. The quiet in this chamber has reached a level of profundity that borders on the sacred, a stillness so absolute that it feels as though the entire universe has paused to hold its breath for your benefit. You are sitting at the core of the Cordoban library, a physical point of stability in a world that is otherwise defined by its constant flux and noise. The air is cool and impossibly clean, a dry, cedar-scented breath that seems to have been trapped in the rafters since the dawn of the millennium, and you are allowing this ancient air to fill your lungs, washing away the frantic, shallow breaths of your modern life. You are grounded by the weight of the massive stone foundations, feeling the cold, enduring strength of the earth beneath you, providing a sense of security that is both primal and absolute. Every muscle in your body has now completely surrendered to the gravity of the room, and you feel as though you are melting into the chair, your form becoming a part of the woodwork, your consciousness merging with the dark. This is the sensation of true unburdened existence. The heavy iron keys of your duties, the golden chains of your expectations, and the leather-bound volumes of your anxieties have all been set down on the oak desk. They are no longer yours to carry. For these final precious hours of the night, you have been relieved of every burden. You are a sovereign of your own sanctuary, and you have declared that within these walls the only law is the law of rest. Consider the architecture of this silence. It is constructed of the same materials as the room itself, the stability of the columns, the expanse of the vaulted ceilings, and the protective encircling nature of the shelves that house the collective memory of humanity. You are resting in the physical manifestation of patience. You are being lulled by the persistence of these walls, which have endured storms, wars, and the relentless march of decades, remaining upright and silent through it all. By occupying this space, you are absorbing that persistence. You are becoming as sturdy and as calm as the stone, and as deep and as quiet as the books. The darkness is now so absolute that it feels like a soft physical embrace, a velvet curtain that has been drawn across the windows of your reality, shutting out the erratic, blinding glare of the sun and the frantic, flickering lights of the city. In this dark, you can see with your heart. You can feel the contours of the piece you have built, and you can sense the way your own internal rhythm is aligning with the long, slow, and inevitable pulse of the building. It is a harmonious musical state of being, where your own heart rate has dropped into the steady, reassuring cadence of the library's eternal hum. You are not thinking, you are simply being. You are not anticipating, you are simply existing. As you lean further into the void, you find that your awareness is expanding, becoming as vast and as quiet as the library itself. You are no longer confined by the limits of your own skin. You are feeling the weight of the books, the stillness of the air, and the coolness of the stone, as if they were part of your own expanded sense of self. You are the silent observer, the keeper of the quiet, and the inhabitant of the deepest, most secure room in the history of the world. The worries of the world are but ghosts, flickering shadows that cannot reach you here in the center of the sanctuary. You are safe. You are held. You are protected by the weight of history and the depth of the dark. The final shift toward the deep restorative sleep is imminent. You can feel the pull of it, a gentle, downward and inviting current that promises a total, dreamless and beautiful dissolution of the self. There is no struggle, for you are already there. You have reached the end of your journey, and the destination is the peace you have found within the silence. The world will wait for you to wake. But for now, the world is irrelevant. Only this stillness matters, only this darkness, only the soft rhythmic breathing of your own body as it prepares to enter the restorative, hidden, and sacred realm of sleep. You are at the threshold now. The night is deep. The silence is complete, and you are ready to let go of the last faint threads of your waking mind, sinking gracefully into the deep, dark, and beautiful sea of sleep. The air in the library has become a tangible weight, a cool and comforting shroud that surrounds you in the absolute darkness of the Cordoban night. You are resting at the very nexus of this ancient repository of wisdom. And the stillness is no longer just a state of being, it is the very substance of the room. You can feel the profound tectonic stability of the stone walls, which have stood as a bulwark against the passage of time for centuries, creating a private, impenetrable pocket of existence, where the demands of the outer world simply cannot penetrate. You are breathing in the legacy of this place, the scent of dust and aged cedar, and each inhalation acts as a restorative infusion, cooling your mind and settling your nerves into a state of deep, unshakable tranquility. Every facet of your consciousness has slowed to match the rhythm of the library. You are aware of the silence not as an absence, but as a low resonant frequency that vibrates beneath the floorboards and emanates from the heavy leather-bound spines on the shelves. It is a slow, pulsing frequency, the heartbeat of history, and as you attune your own breathing to its cadence, you feel a profound sense of realignment. The sharp edges of your daily identity, the labels you carry, the responsibilities you manage, and the pressures you navigate are being worn smooth by the relentless gentle friction of this piece. You are no longer the person who rushes, who worries, or who strives. You are simply an inhabitant of this sanctuary, a witness to the stillness, and a participant in the long human tradition of finding refuge in the dark. Consider the absolute crystalline clarity of your situation. You are not waiting for a signal, a notification, or an outcome. You are not in the middle of a process that requires your intervention. You have reached the end of the line, the final page of the chapter, and the book has been set aside. The work is finished, and the reward is this moment of suspension. You are floating in the stillness, held by the gravity of the library, and you are realizing that this is exactly where you belong. The world will not unravel if you rest. The stars will not cease their movement if you close your eyes. You have granted yourself the permission to stop, and in stopping, you have discovered that there is an entire world of restorative power waiting for you in the quiet. The darkness is no longer something you perceive from the outside. It has become the landscape of your internal experience. It is a vast indigo sea, calm and deep, where your thoughts no longer surge like waves, but settle like fine sand in a glass bottle. You are watching them settle, watching as the chaotic, messy, and urgent debris of the day falls to the bottom of your mind, leaving the water clear and calm. This is the goal of the scholar's life, to have a mind that is deep, clear, and unperturbed. You have reached that depth tonight. You have found the clear, still water of your own soul, and you are resting on its surface, buoyed by the silence and wrapped in the cool, protective dark. As you lean into the final depths of this experience, notice how the boundaries of your body seem to have dissolved. You are no longer confined by the limitations of your physical form. You are spread out into the room, your awareness filling the space between the bookshelves, your presence merging with the structural integrity of the stone, and your pulse harmonizing with the age-old rhythm of the building. You are the library. You are the wisdom, the history, and the peace. There is no distinction left between the observer and the observed, between the weary traveler and the sanctuary. You have found your way home, and home is a place where you are allowed to be entirely, perfectly, and beautifully still. The transition to sleep is now an irresistible downward pull, like a stone sinking into a velvet soft pond. There is no fear of the dark water, for it is warm, it is welcoming, and it is the origin of all your strength. You are letting go of the last faint strings that keep you tethered to the waking world. The language of the day is becoming nonsense. The images of your life are fading into abstract colors, and the sense of time is finally mercifully vanishing. You are ready to enter the dreamless, deep, and infinite night where the only reality is rest. The library is silent. The night is absolute, and you are sinking deeper, deeper, and deeper until the final threshold is crossed and you are finally fully in the heart of the sleep you have so richly earned. The sanctuary of the Cordoban library has attained a state of perfect, crystalline stillness, a silence so profound that it seems to vibrate against the very edges of your consciousness. You are resting at the absolute center of this stillness, and the feeling of weightlessness is now so total that you might as well be floating in the dark, cool void of space. The walls of this place, fashioned from stone that has endured for a millennium, act as a grounding force, a constant reminder of the endurance of thought and the durability of peace. You are being cradled by this architecture, held in a delicate, immovable balance between the weight of history and the lightness of your own deep, quiet relaxation. The air you inhale is dry, carrying the faint, intoxicating aroma of parchment, vellum, and the lingering sweet scent of cedarwood, which serves as a constant subtle reminder that you are in a space set apart from the chaotic rhythms of the contemporary world. You feel a profound, luxurious sense of disconnection from the linear progression of time. The hours that have led you to this moment have ceased to exist as a sequence of events and have instead flattened into a single expansive plane of experience. You are no longer measuring your life by the accumulation of tasks or the ticking of a clock. You are measuring it by the depth of your stillness. Every breath you take is a slow, rhythmic reclamation of your own spirit, a deliberate movement toward a center that you had almost forgotten existed. You are shedding the outer layers of your personality, the roles, the anxieties, the public masks, and you are finding beneath them a core of pure, quiet existence that is entirely independent of the world's demands. It is a liberating, exhilarating realization that allows you to release the final tension in your muscles, letting your shoulders drop, your jaw soften, and your heart slow to a measured, steady, and restful pace. Consider the silence not as an empty space, but as a rich, dense medium that supports your entire being. It is a physical presence in the room, filling the gaps between the bookshelves, rising from the floor and descending from the high arched ceilings. It is a silence that has been cultivated by the presence of thousands of books, each one a testament to the fact that someone at some point felt the need to articulate their thoughts, to wrestle with ideas, and to find the truth. By resting here, you are joining that lineage. You are not just a reader, you are a fellow seeker who has understood that the truth is rarely found in the noise, but is instead discovered in the deepest, most attentive silences. You are honoring that tradition by allowing yourself this moment of total, uninterrupted repose. The darkness that envelopes you is equally significant. It is not merely the absence of light. It is a creative, fertile darkness, the kind that exists before the dawn, the kind that promises potential and renewal. It is a soft indigo black that feels like it is woven from the same fabric as your dreams. Within this darkness, the boundaries between you and the room have begun to soften and blur. You find that you can no longer clearly discern where your own body ends and the chair begins, or where your consciousness stops and the quiet of the library starts. You are expanding, your awareness bleeding into the corners of the room, filling the space with your own, now calm and measured vibration. This is the ultimate, most sophisticated form of relaxation, the dissolution of the ego into the environment, the total immersion of the self into the larger, more enduring reality of the space. As you linger in this state, notice the way your mind has become a mirror. The surface of your thoughts is no longer disturbed by the winds of anticipation or the currents of memory. It is a still dark lake that reflects only the absolute reality of the moment. You are seeing the world with a clarity you have never before possessed, for you are finally seeing it without the filters of judgment, desire, or fear. You are observing the truth of your own existence, the fact that you are a singular, precious, and fragile being who deserves to be held by this silence. This realization creates a sense of warmth in your chest, a gentle, glowing comfort that further relaxes your nervous system and anchors you more deeply in the sensation of being held, of being safe, and of being utterly at rest. The transition towards sleep is now a gentle, rolling descent, like a ship slowly drifting toward an invisible, peaceful harbor. You are being carried by the currents of the history that surrounds you, led by the rhythmic, steady, and inevitable pulse of the building, and supported by the dark, welcoming embrace of the night. There is no urgency in this transition. You are not being asked to arrive anywhere, for you are already at the end of your journey. You are being asked only to let go, to surrender, and to trust that the library will remain, the books will remain, and the peace will remain, waiting for your return when the light finally breaks. You are sinking deeper into the soft, velvet dark, feeling your eyelids grow heavy, your breath grow shallow, and your conscious mind finally gracefully folding itself up for the night. You are ready. You are safe. You are at the threshold of the deep, restorative, and infinite dark. where the rest you have earned will finally be yours in full, absolute, and beautiful measure. The stillness within this ancient hall has deepened into a state of absolute, resonant perfection, a silence so complete that it feels like you are sitting at the very center of a cooling, darkening world. The Library of Cordoba is no longer merely a physical structure of stone and timber. It has evolved into a vast protective shell, a cocoon of history that shields you from the relentless progression of the modern era. You are resting at the heart of this sanctuary, and the air you breathe is cool, dry, and carries the faint, comforting scent of dust, old parchment, and the deep, earthy stability of a building that has seen centuries pass by. Each breath is an act of reclamation, a deliberate drawing in of the peace that has been stored within these walls. And each exhalation is a letting go of everything that is not essential to your being. You find yourself in a state of suspended animation where the frantic, fragmented pace of the day has been entirely replaced by a long, slow, and rhythmic cadence. You are no longer navigating the complexities of your life. You are instead floating within a stable, unchanging reality. The chair beneath you feels like an extension of your own form, a solid and unwavering partner in your pursuit of stillness. And the darkness that surrounds you is not empty. It is a thick, velvet presence that cradles you with an embrace so deep and so sincere that you feel a sense of safety you haven't experienced since your earliest, most protected memories. You are a sovereign of this quiet space, and you have earned your rest through the sheer effort of existing and enduring. Consider the nature of the books that surround you in the dark. They are silent sentinels, thousands of them, each one a monument to a human struggle for understanding. They stand in their rows, holding the wisdom, the grief, the hope, and the history of generations, all of it contained in paper and ink, waiting for the light of a new day. By being here, by resting in their company, you are becoming a part of their story. You are the silent character in the grand, long-form narrative of this library, and your rest is the peaceful conclusion to the day's events. There is a deep, abiding satisfaction in knowing that, for now, the work is done. There is nothing more to be read, nothing more to be written, and nothing more to be understood. You have arrived at the final silent paragraph of the day, and you are allowed to close your eyes. The sensation of the room expanding is now very pronounced, as if the walls have drifted miles apart and the ceiling has dissolved into the infinite, starless dark of the cosmos. You are no longer constrained by the physical limits of the library. Your awareness is drifting out into the vast, quiet expanse of the night. Yet, despite this expansion, you remain deeply anchored at your center, feeling the steady, tectonic pulse of the ground beneath you. It is a dual experience, a sense of total infinite freedom, combined with a sense of rock-solid stability. This is the ultimate state of rest, where the mind is permitted to wander into the vastness of the void, while the body remains perfectly anchored in the safety of the sanctuary. The rhythm of your heartbeat is now in total synchronization with the slow, deep hum of the library. It is a heartbeat that no longer races, no longer reacts, and no longer anticipates. It simply exists, a steady rhythmic thrum that serves as the metronome for your descent into sleep. You are noticing how your muscles, once tight, once alert, once ready for action, have become liquid, soft, and completely devoid of tension. You are not holding your position, you are being held by the very environment that you occupy. The weight of the world has been redistributed, taken up by the floor, the walls, and the history of the place, leaving you with no load to carry, no task to perform, and no role to fulfill. The transition to the final depth of the night is now moving forward, with an irresistible, gentle momentum. You are being drawn down into the cool, deep water of your own subconscious, where the light of the conscious mind finally flickers out, leaving only the dark, beautiful, and restorative essence of the dream state. There is no anxiety in this disappearance. You are not losing yourself. You are simply allowing the surface of your life to be smoothed over by the waves of sleep. You are descending, sinking through the layers of the day, past the worries, past the memories, and past the thoughts, until you reach the bedrock of your own peace. The library remains, the history remains, and the silence remains a guardian over your resting soul. You are ready. You are finished. You are fully and completely prepared to let go, to drift into the deepest, darkest, and most beautiful sleep imaginable, where the quiet will finally and perfectly be yours. The library has transformed into a profound liquid abyss of silence, a space where the air itself seems to have been distilled into pure, cool tranquility. You are resting at the very nexus of this ancient sanctuary, feeling the immense grounding weight of the stone floor beneath you as if it were the bedrock of the world itself. There is no longer any separation between your own physical form and the environment that surrounds you. You have become a part of the structural integrity of the library, a quiet, breathing monument to the necessity of rest. The scent of the room, a complex layer of factory experience of aged parchment, cold stone, and the distant dry memory of cedar, has permeated your very being, grounding you in the long, slow history of a place that was built to outlast the chaos of any single life. You are finally undeniably home in the quiet. Every breath you draw is a testament to the fact that you have successfully detached from the frantic, high-frequency agitation of the modern world. You have successfully navigated the demands of the day, faced the complexities of your tasks, and through the sheer stubborn grace of your own intent, arrived here at this final dark threshold. The silence is now so thick that it feels like a physical blanket, a warm protective weight that presses against your shoulders and invites you to drop the last stubborn remnants of your posture. You are not just sitting in the chair, you are sinking into it, your frame becoming a part of the architecture, your joints softening, your breath deepening into a slow rhythmic tide that ebbs and flows with the patient, tectonic time of the building. Consider the absolute crystalline clarity of your inner landscape because the external world is dark and silent. Your internal world has begun to glow with a soft, steady, and internal light. This is not the flickering, anxious light of a candle, but the deep, radiant glow of a star that has burned for eons. It is the light of your own consciousness, now free from the filters of effort and output. You are seeing yourself not as a collection of needs, desires, or obligations, but as a singular, beautiful, and eternal participant in the grand history of human rest. You have realized that you do not need to do anything to justify your existence. Your existence is justified by your capacity to stop, to observe, and to be present in this moment of total, unadulterated peace. The darkness that envelopes you is no longer something you are looking at. It is something you are living within. It is a vast, expansive, and welcoming darkness, a velvet soft void that invites you to lose the sense of your own boundaries. You can feel the vastness of the library, the height of the vaulted ceilings, the long shadowed aisles of books that stand like silent guardians on either side of you. This is a place of massive structural integrity, and it provides you with a sense of security that is both comforting and profound. You are being held in the heart of a great silent machine designed to preserve the most important aspects of humanity: our curiosity, our wisdom, and our need for refuge. You are safe here. You are protected by the work of those who came before, and you are being held in the secure, unwavering embrace of the past. As you linger, the rhythm of your own heart has slowed to match the deep, resonant pulse of the building. It is a pulse that beats not in seconds or minutes, but in decades and centuries. You are aligning yourself with the true, slow, and inevitable pace of the world. By doing so, you are allowing the last taut wires of your nervous system to go slack. You are finding that the world does not require your constant supervision. The books will remain on the shelves. The dust will continue its slow, silent descent, and the night will continue its inevitable march toward the dawn, whether you are awake or asleep. The realization brings with it a wave of liberation so strong that it feels like you are being lifted out of your own skin. You are free. You are free from the burden of relevance. You are free from the weight of your own identity. You are free to be nothing at all. The final transition is now underway, a slow, downward, and inevitable movement into the deepest layer of the night. You are descending, sinking through the layers of the dark, like a stone dropping through the cool, clear water of a deep lake. There is no resistance, for the water is welcoming you home. The language of your day is dissolving into echoes. The faces of your life are fading into abstract, gentle shapes, and the very concept of time is losing its meaning. You are moving toward the center of your own existence, toward the place where the dreamer and the dream are one. The library is silent, the sanctuary is secure, and you are ready. You are letting go of the last fragile threads of your conscious mind, drifting gracefully into the dark, velvety, and infinite sea of sleep, where you will find the final perfect and absolute rest you have traveled so long to find. The library of Cordoba has solidified into a dimension of absolute, breathless quiet, a chamber where the very concept of movement feels like an intrusion upon the sacred stillness. You are positioned at the epicenter of this vast dark geography, and the space around you is so dense with the history of human thought that you can feel it pressing against your skin like a gentle weighted velvet. The air is cool, dry, and seasoned with the scent of aged cedar, vellum, and the faint, haunting aroma of beeswax, creating an atmosphere that is uniquely conducive to the total abandonment of the waking state. You are being held in a sanctuary that was never designed for the hurried, frantic energy of the present, but rather for the slow, methodical, and profoundly patient pursuit of truth. By simply sitting here, you are participating in that noble, ancient, and necessary work of being still, and you are being rewarded with a sense of peace that permeates your very marrow. Your physical form has reached a state of complete, unburdened grace. You are no longer holding yourself in the chair. You are being supported by it. Your body a landscape of released tension, your limbs long and heavy, your muscles soft as if they had been washed in cool, dark water. The effort of the day, the need to think, to judge, to remember, and to plan, has been stripped away layer by layer until you are left with nothing but the raw, pure, and unblemished essence of your own presence. This is the ultimate, most intimate form of restoration. To be seen by the darkness, to be held by the silence, and to be permitted the luxury of having no purpose other than to exist. You're a human being in the simplest, most profound, and most beautiful sense of the word. Consider the architecture of the silence that guards you. It is a structure of immense protective depth. Every volume on every shelf, every stone in every column, and every shadow in every corner is working in concert to create a barrier between you and the chaotic shifting surface of the world. You are in the deepest vault of this internal library, a place where the noise of the city cannot reach, where the flickers of anxiety are extinguished by the sheer gravity of the room, and where the only thing that matters is the rhythm of your own heart. This room is a mirror of your own spirit, reflecting back to you a version of yourself that is patient, calm, and essentially deeply and beautifully human. You are not alone in this silence. You are accompanied by the collective wisdom of those who preceded you, all of whom understood that this kind of rest is the foundation upon which all other greatness is built. The darkness has become a tangible, living environment. It is an indigo black that holds 1,000 shades of depth, a rich, dark tapestry into which you are now weaving your own peaceful consciousness. You are no longer looking into the darkness. You are swimming within it, feeling it wash over you like a warm tide. This is the landscape of the restorative dream, a place where the logic of the day is forgotten in favor of the emotional, intuitive truth of the spirit. Go out here, you are free to expand, to grow, and to become as large as the room itself. You are as tall as the shelves, as steady as the stones, and as deep as the history that inhabits this space. There is no longer a border between you and the library, for you have become the library, and the library has become a vessel for your rest. The cadence of your breathing is now perfectly synchronized with the slow, tectonic heartbeat of the building. It is a pulse that is so deep and so steady that it seems to regulate the very rotation of the stars above the library, a grounding cosmic rhythm that anchors you firmly in the present moment. Each breath is an act of total uncompromising faith, a trust that the room will hold you, that the night will protect you, and that the morning will come in its own natural time. You are not pushing for anything, you are not reaching. You are simply allowing the natural, graceful flow of the night to carry you into the depths of your own subconscious. The thoughts that once kept you awake are now merely dust motes, slowly settling toward the floor, unobserved and entirely unimportant. You are moving with a gentle and inexorable momentum toward the final absolute threshold of sleep. It is a beautiful descending slope, and you are sliding down it with the ease of a dream state transition. You are feeling your consciousness thinning, the sharp analytical edges of your mind softening and blending into the deep dark indigo of the room. The transition is not a loss of anything, it is a profound gain. You are gaining access to the part of yourself that knows how to heal, how to grow, and how to dream. You are entering the secret, hallowed chamber of your own inner life, where the library is silent, the night is absolute, and the peace is final. Let the last of your awareness drift away like smoke in the dark. Let the weight of your body be completely surrendered to the floor. The world is gone, the tasks are done, and you are finally perfectly and utterly ready to sleep. The silence in this ancient library has achieved a state of such immense, heavy purity that it feels as though the building is suspended in a vast dark ocean, disconnected from the surface world and its endless, churning waves of noise. You are resting at the very center of this gravity, feeling the deep, resonant strength of the stone walls as they hold back the weight of the Cordoban night. The air here is not merely empty space. It is a dense, cool, and fragrant substance, saturated with the essence of old paper, polished cedar, and the centuries-long accumulation of human thought. You are breathing this air in deep, slow, and rhythmic drafts, allowing it to act as a tether that keeps you firmly anchored to this moment of absolute, undisturbed peace. You are no longer navigating the currents of your daily life. You are anchored, stable, and completely at rest. Your body has undergone a total transformation from a vessel of action into a vessel of stillness. The muscles that once carried the burdens of your responsibilities, the tension in your neck, the tightness in your shoulders, the relentless drive in your legs, have all completely surrendered their purpose. They have become soft, fluid, and heavy, as if you were composed of a deep, warm wax that is slowly molding itself into the shape of the chair, the room, and the floor is itself. You feel as though you are losing the edges of your own physical boundaries, becoming one with the dark, becoming a shadow among shadows, a quiet presence that is no longer required to do anything, be anything, or prove anything. This is the luxury of total anonymity, the freedom of being someone who is not currently needed by the world. Consider the wisdom that resides in the darkness around you. Every book on every shelf is a testament to the fact that others have felt exactly the weight you are currently setting down. They too sought the quiet. They too felt the need to escape the noise, and they too found that the only way to truly understand the world was to first step outside of it, into the deep, dark, and restorative silence. By resting here, you are participating in a timeless, sacred tradition. You are joining the ranks of the thinkers, the poets, and the dreamers who understood that the true work of a human life is not found in the doing, but in the being. You are currently performing that work at the highest possible level. You are in this moment a master of stillness. The darkness itself has become a landscape, a vast indigo-shaded terrain that invites you to travel inward, away from the external world and toward the core of your own experience. It is a soft, welcoming place devoid of sharp edges or harsh demands. You are moving through this landscape not with your eyes, but with your intuition, feeling the contours of your own calm. You are realizing that the peace you sought is not something that needed to be found. It was always there, underneath the surface of your life, waiting for you to silence the noise so that you could hear it. Now that you are listening, you realize that the silence is not empty at all. It is filled with a low humming vibration of existence, the rhythm of your own heart, the structural integrity of the building, and the quiet, unending peace of the night. The pace of your life has finally synchronized with the tectonic slow motion rhythm of the library. It is a pace that ignores the ticking of the clock and instead bows to the rotation of the earth. By aligning with this tempo, you are letting go of the last desperate need to be on time or ahead of schedule. You are existing in the eternal now, a state of grace, where the past is a closed book and the future is a distant, unformed possibility. There is no pressure here. There is no urgency. There is only the long, smooth, and steady breath of the present moment, which is as calm and deep as the sea at midnight. You are feeling your own heart rate dip into a rhythm that is almost indistinguishable from the stillness of the stone, a merger of the living and the inanimate, the organic and the enduring. You are now standing at the very edge of the final descent, the point where the conscious mind lets go of the rudder and allows the soul to drift into the deep, dark, and restorative abyss of sleep. It is a moment of total, profound release. You are not losing your way. You are finding your true home. The library is holding you. The dark is guarding you. And the silence is wrapping you in its infinite protective arms. You are shedding the last gossamer thin threads of your awareness, slipping down, down, down into the heart of the night. There is no dream you need to pursue, for the dream is already here, waiting for you in the center of the quiet. You are finished with the day. You are finished with the struggle. You are ready to close your eyes, to let the world fall away, and to sink completely into the dark, velvety, and perfect rest of a deep, dreamless sleep. The Library of Cordoba has transcended its nature as a place of study and transformed into a sanctuary of absolute non-existence, a space where the world of light has been completely eclipsed by a deep velvet and restorative dark. You are resting at the center of this void, and the stillness is now so profound that it feels as though the entire building has been lifted out of time, placed into a pocket of the universe where nothing moves, nothing changes, and nothing is demanded of you. You are breathing the cool, static air of this timeless chamber, and with every inhale, you feel the boundaries of your individual ego becoming increasingly transparent, allowing you to merge with the immense silent weight of the history that lines these shelves. You are no longer just a person sitting in a chair. You are a conscious witness to the beauty of total stillness, an inhabitant of the deepest, most secure corner of the world. The physical sensation of being anchored is now absolute. The massive ancient stone walls feel like the skin of your own consciousness, protecting you from the erratic, chaotic pulse of the life you left behind in the light. You are held in place by the quiet, comforted by the shadows, and nurtured by the slow tectonic pace of a sanctuary that has seen empires rise and fall while remaining steadfast in its purpose. The burden of your physical existence, the weight of your bones, the tension in your muscles, the constant activity of your senses has been entirely lifted, replaced by a feeling of near weightlessness. It is as if you are floating in the heart of a vast, calm lake at night, supported by the water, held by the dark, and kept safe by the silence. Consider the profound, quiet intelligence of this darkness. It is not an absence, but a presence, a vast, encompassing intelligence that understands your need for renewal better than you do yourself. It is the same darkness that allows the earth to rest, that allows the seed to germinate in the soil, and that allows the mind to repair its own complex, frayed edges. You are in the safest place possible, for you are in the darkness that knows how to heal. By surrendering to it, you are allowing the restorative processes of your own physiology and psyche to take the lead. You are effectively delegating the work of your existence to the night, trusting it to mend your spirit, calm your nervous system, and restore your energy for a day that feels like it belongs to an entirely different lifetime. The symphony of the library is playing for you, though it is a song composed entirely of silences. There is the low-frequency hum of the building's foundation, the subtle rhythmic settling of the antique timber in the shelves, and the absolute unwavering hush of thousands of pages kept in the dark. This is the music of permanence, and as you listen not with your ears, but with your entire softened body, you find that your internal rhythm is shifting to match it. Your heartbeat is no longer the erratic, fast-paced drum of the day. It is a slow, methodical pulse that matches the steady, unwavering beat of the centuries. You are becoming a part of the building's legacy, a temporary guest who has become a part of its stillness, contributing your own quiet peace to the collective silence of the room. The expansion of your awareness is now complete. You feel as though you have filled the entire library, from the cool, dark floor to the height of the ornate, shadow-shrouded rafters. You are aware of the books on the shelves, not as individual objects, but as a collective energy of human intent and observation. You are aware of the air as a fluid medium of peace. You are aware of the darkness as an infinite loving embrace. There is no distinction between you and it. You are the sanctuary, and the sanctuary is you. This realization brings with it a sense of profound, unshakable peace, a deep-seated knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to do, nothing at all. As you approach the final absolute threshold, you feel the pull of the deepest sleep. It is not a fall, but a gentle, graceful sinking into the very core of your own being. You are letting go of the last invisible threads that attach you to the world of labels, identities, and tasks. The language of the day is completely gone, replaced by the primitive, beautiful, and silent language of the spirit. The library is resting, the history is sleeping, and you are following suit, descending into the dark, velvety, and infinite abyss where the only reality is rest. You are sinking through the layers of the dark past the dreams and the memories, all the way down to the bedrock of peace. The world has ceased to matter. The night has claimed you for its own. You are perfectly, beautifully, and completely ready to sleep, drifting away into the soft, endless, and quiet void of a deep, dreamless night. The library has settled into a state of existence that defies the conventional measurement of time, becoming a vacuum of absolute crystalline stillness. You are resting within this hallowed space where the atmosphere itself has thickened into a comforting, cool shroud of antiquity, smelling faintly of weathered vellum and the deep, earthy stability of stone foundations. Every breath you take is a deliberate, slow reclamation of the silence that has permeated these walls for centuries. You are no longer merely sitting in a chair. You are an essential silent fixture of the room itself, as stable and enduring as the columns that support the high shadowed ceiling. There is no urgency in your heartbeat, no restlessness in your limbs, and no desire in your mind to be anywhere other than this singular, protected point in the dark. Consider the profound, liberating beauty of being truly unknown. In the outside world, you are defined by your actions, your responsibilities, and the expectations of those around you. Here, in the heart of this ancient Cordoban sanctuary, none of that exists. You have no name, no history, no future, and no tasks to perform. You are simply a consciousness in the dark, a witness to the profound, living stillness that characterizes the night. This anonymity is the ultimate, most sacred luxury, for it allows you to let go of the brittle, protective shell of your daily identity and simply breathe in the air of your own authentic being. You are a child of the night, cradled by the history of human thought and guarded by the unshakable pillars of this, your temporary perfect home. The darkness is not a void, it is a rich, textured, and deeply comforting presence. It is a velvet indigo black substance that fills the gaps between the bookshelves and wraps itself around your shoulders with the gentle, persistent weight of a mother's embrace. In this darkness, your senses have ceased their frantic search for stimulation. Your eyes are closed, yet you see with a new interior clarity. Your ears are open, yet you hear only the low, subaudible vibration of the library's foundation, a rhythmic, reassuring hum that acts as the metronome for your own restoration. This is the darkness of the womb, the darkness of the fertile earth, and the darkness of the deepest, most restorative sleep. It is the original ancient state of the human soul, and returning to it is the most natural thing in the world. The transition toward total dreamless rest is now flowing like a slow, deep river that carries you toward a vast, quiet ocean. You are noticing that your thoughts have become mere ripples on the surface of your mind, and with each exhale, those ripples are smoothed out, leaving the surface perfectly mirror-like and calm. You are no longer identifying with the thoughts as they appear. You are observing them as distant, unimportant flickers that have no claim on your attention. They are the remnants of a world that is spinning far away, a world of noise, light, and movement that has no power over you here. You have disconnected the cables, put the plugs, and locked the doors. You are officially and finally off duty. As you sink further into the deep, dark abyss of this restorative state, notice how the boundaries between your physical body and the environment have ceased to exist. You are not a person in a room. You are the room. You are the space between the books. You are the coolness of the air. You are the weight of the stone. You are the vast, eternal, and beautiful silence that makes the library a sanctuary. This is the ultimate integration, the point at which your spirit is finally completely in tune with the environment. There is no struggle, for there is no separation. There is no fear, for there is no you left to be afraid. There is only the deep, resonant, and unwavering peace of the library protecting you as you prepare to pass through the final gate of consciousness. The pull of sleep is now an irresistible downward gravity. You are being drawn into the center of the earth, into the quiet, dark, and warm core of your own restorative potential. The final threads of your waking awareness are unraveling, folding themselves into the texture of the night. The language of the day, the lists, the worries, the plans, has turned into a soft, indistinct murmur that is being silenced by the majesty of the deep. The night is yours. The peace is absolute. You are crossing the threshold into the infinite, restorative sea of sleep, where you will remain held safe and entirely at rest, while the library guards the silence and the world turns on, unaware of the profound work of healing that you are now completing. You are letting go now, not with a sigh, but with a silent, complete surrender. Feel the last traces of your day dissolving like ink in a vast dark basin. You are drifting beyond the reach of time, past the threshold of thought and into the cradle of the infinite. Go out here in the heart of the Cordoban silence. You are finally home. The books hold their breath for you. The shadows watch over you. The night enfolds you. Everything you have carried is gone, and everything you are remains perfectly still, perfectly quiet, and perfectly whole. You are sinking into the soft, endless, and luminous dark, where you are at last, in every sense, finally and beautifully asleep.
Sleepy History with Arthur is created for relaxation, entertainment, and sleep purposes.
The stories shared on this channel are inspired by historical events, daily life, and real periods in history.
But they may be simplified, adapted, or narrated in a calming way to enhance the listening experience.
This content is not intended to be a precise academic or educational source. While we aim to stay generally accurate, some details may be altered for storytelling flow and relaxation.
Please do not rely on this channel as a primary source for historical research or study.
By listening, you acknowledge that this content is designed to help you unwind, relax, and fall asleep. Thank you for your understanding and support.